Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another live stream watch along on the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast. And it's India versus New Zealand, semi-final number one. And it was a very dominant batting display by India, setting, New Zealand 398 to win, which is an imposing total. But it's a semi-final, anything can happen. So let's see how New Zealand will go about it in this run chase. But it's going to be Bumrah to bowl the first over, and he's going to be bowling to Conway. For the run chase, Bumrah is in, and this one cut away by Conway nicely to the point boundary for 4. First boundary of the New Zealand run chase. And that's a good start for New Zealand. That's what they needed. Get off to a bit of a quick start in this run chase. 4 runs. Yeah, a bit wide and a bit short from Bumrah. Cut away nicely from Devon Conway through backward point, and he picks up his first boundary of the innings. Bumrah in, this one full, driven by Conway, but to the fielder at mid-off, and there's no run. And New Zealand, it's going to be a challenge for them. 398 is a big score. It hasn't been done in any World Cup semi-final. So they will need to create a bit of history tonight. So Bumrah in. This one cut by Conway through backward point again for 4. Couple of boundaries in the over from Conway. Already New Zealand off to a promising start. It's already none for 8. 3 balls in to the first over. Another boundary from Conway, just cut away nicely through that point region for 4. And he's going to be key for New Zealand if they are going to chase this down. They will need all the runs that he can get, along with Ravinder from the other end. Bumrah in, this one full, angling across. Conway lets it go to the keeper, no run. So the first job done for India. They batted first, got a score on the board, 397. But the job is not done yet. They need to do the second job, and that's the bowling. And they will need to finish it off in a clinical fashion. But the Indian bowlers have been so good in this World Cup. And they've been the team to beat as Bumrah is in. And this one beating Conway past his outside edge through to the keeper, no run. Good comeback from Bumrah after the couple of boundaries in the over. Perfect seam position, just moving away from the left-hander in Conway. That angle across. And good start by Bumrah here. Kane Williamson watching on from the sideline. Coming in at number 3, the New Zealand captain. Bumrah in. And this one left alone by Conway. Through to the keeper, no run. It's the end of the over, none for 8. A good start from New Zealand. They've matched the required run rate. They need 8 and over in their quest of 398. Can they do it? We'll find out in the next couple of hours or so. Hello, John. You say I'll probably only hang in for an hour or so. Early start tomorrow. I'll save the no sleep for tomorrow night. Yes, John, of course. South Africa and Australia. The second semi-final, of course, from Kolkata. And that'll be the second game tomorrow as Mohammad Siraj is into the attack to start the second over of the run chase. He's had a pretty good World Cup, average of 28, 12 wickets from 10 games. It's not bad. And he's been a good bowler for India in this campaign. Siraj, he's going to be bowling to Ravinder. Siraj is in. This one full driven to mid-off by Ravinder, no run. He's had a pretty good World Cup. So Conway and Ravinder had a pretty good opening partnership. Oh, sorry, not opening partnership. They had a good partnership against England in the first game in Ahmedabad. So New Zealand will probably need that again tonight if they are going to chase down this mammoth score, which is 398, which is a big score. Siraj in, this one full driven to mid-off again by Ravinder, no run. So they've got to cash in the power play here. New Zealand. Got to make sure that they can cash in at the first 10 overs. That's what India did. They got off to a flyer. So let's see what they can do in that first 10 over period. So Siraj in again now to Ravinder. This one full and driven again by Ravinder to mid-off. No run. Yet to get off the mark. 3 balls he's faced. New Zealand playing in another World Cup semi-final. They played 3 on the trot. 2015, 2019, 2023. Not a bad achievement for New Zealand playing in 3 World Cup semi-finals. Can they make it to their 3rd consecutive World Cup final? But they'll have to bat very well to do that. Siraj in, this one full. Traps Ravinder on the pads. There's an appeal for LBW, but turned down. Another dot ball from Siraj. Yeah, that was a bit of bat there from Ravinder. Yes, try to go for another drive, and he got the ball onto the foot. Siraj in. And this one guided down to 3rd man for 4 from Ravinder. Nicely placed off the face of the bat. Down to 3rd man for a boundary. And he's off the mark. Finally in this over. Yep. Just off the face of the bat. Just ran it down to that 3rd man region, and the fielder couldn't come around and cut that off. So New Zealand off to a promising start. They'll need to keep going at this run rate if they are going to chase down this total. Siraj in. This one a swing and a miss from Ravinder. Past his outside edge, through to the keeper, no run. Not a bad over from New Zealand or India's point of view. 4 from it. It's the end of the over, none for 12 after 2. 398 is the target for New Zealand. And for India, they're not far away from reaching a World Cup final for the first time since 2011. So it's Bumrah to continue, none for 8 from his first. And he's about to continue his second over. Conway 8, Ravinder on 4. Bumrah's in. This one, outside edge. There's an appeal for caught behind. Swing and a miss from Conway. Yeah, clear gap between the ball and the bat. So India not going upstairs for a review. Yeah, clearly missed the bat. Just moved a long way. Rahul got a little bit excited with that one. Thought he got the outside edge there, Bumrah, but it wasn't to be. This one down the leg side by Bumrah. It's called a wide. Certainly helped the cause for New Zealand. Wide delivery. Extras will definitely help them. Yeah, that one. Dot ball there from Bumrah. Good comeback after the wide. So here we go, Bumrah in. And this one wide and well across Conway, who leaves it through to the keeper, no run, but it's called a wide. So he has to re-bowl that one again. Jasprit Bumrah hasn't quite got the line right here. John says, if Gill hadn't retired hurt before coming back on, India could have pushed it to 430 plus. They could have. I think New Zealand will be very happy to keep him under 400, John. 398, well, it's under 400, which is good, I suppose. India looked pretty ominous with their batting. This one, full from Bumrah. Defended by Conway to the leg side, no run. And New Zealand just getting into this innings. None for 14, it's a promising start. Very good start. They will need to hurry along. Get it done if they can in this power play, if they are going to force the issue. Here's Bumrah in. And this one full inside edge by Conway. Nearly chopped on back onto his stumps, but in the end, no damage done. 2 runs in this over, both of them wides from Bumrah. So it's been tight bowling from Bumrah again. He's been pretty good in this World Cup. Been wicket taker for India in the tournament. And he's done pretty well. Bumrah in. This one full and driven through point for 4 from Conway. Another boundary for him. Bit too full from Bumrah and nicely driven through that point region from Devon Conway for 4. That's his 3rd boundary. Just helping it on its way. And Surikumar Yadav there at point couldn't cut that off with a dive. As soon as it got past him, it was only going to go to the boundary. Good start from Conway's 12 off 11. Bumrah in. This one down the leg side. Going to be called a wide again. 3 wides in the over from Bumrah. So just a little bit off with his line, a little bit, Bumrah, but he'll be looking to get back into his groove. So here we go. Bumrah about to finish his over. He's in now to Conway. This one beats him. Past his inside edge. Through to the keeper, no run. Good delivery from Bumrah to finish proceedings. End of the over, none for 19 after 3. It's a promising start from New Zealand. Probably not the fast start that India had on comparison, but it's a good steady start nonetheless. Good steady start. And they'll be hoping to make this partnership count. I think the openers will need to go on and score a big score. I think both of them will need to score hundreds, at least. One of them probably go on and make a big score of maybe 150 or something like that. If they are going to chase down 398, it's a big total. Siraj, none for 4 from his first server. And he's going to be bowling to Ravinder, who's on 4. He's in now. This one full and punched by Ravinder to cover, no run. He's 4 off 7. Conway run a ball 12. New Zealand none for 19 into the 4th over. Chasing 398, which is an imposing total. India batted well. A century to Kohli, 50 of 38. Century for him. a century for Iyer. Shami Gill made a good 80-odd, and he retired hurt. He would have made a century if he didn't retire. So good contributions from India. Siraj in, this one full and punched by Ravinder. Can't get it past the fielder at mid-off. Rohit Sharma does the fielding, the captain. Keeps it to a dot. And there is no run. Yes, Virat Kohli, he was exceptional today. A superb knock from him. A really good innings. 117 off 113. He really played well. Goes past Sachin Tendulkar's record. 50 ODI hundreds. That's an unbelievable tally. Sachin got 49 in his career. So Virat Kohli glad that the record has been broken and he can finally focus on other things now. Siraj in. This one full. Worked a point by Ravinder. He set off for a quick single, and then Conway said no. He was halfway down the pitch, Ravinder, but he makes it home easily, so it's a dot ball. New Zealand don't need a run out. That would be the worst thing they can do here. Chasing a big score of 398, you need all your batters contributing. And Conway and Ravinder had a good partnership in that game against England and Ahmedabad. So they are capable of scoring big scores. And that partnership was well over 200 in that game. So New Zealand, they'll be hoping for that today in this partnership as Siraj is in again. This one beats Ravinder past his outside edge. Through to the keeper, no run. Good bowling from Siraj. Keeping it tight, 4 dot balls. Good start. That's what they need to do. India, just keep doing what they've been doing throughout this whole tournament. And that's just making sure that they're bowling good lines and lengths and keeping pressure on the batters. Siraj is in. This one down the leg side and pulled away, well, actually worked away through backward square leg for 4 off the hip from Ravinder. Easy pickings. Another boundary. It's a good start from New Zealand, none for 23. Ravinder picks up a boundary. Yep, on leg stump. And Ravinder was just good enough just to get inside the line of that. Just work it through backward square leg to pick up an easy boundary. And Siraj just straying off his line, just a little bit too leg side-ish. Good start from New Zealand. Siraj is in. This one short. Pulled by Ravinder. It's a square leg. And it's good fielding from Sirikumar Yadav, who keeps it to a dot. End of the over, none for 23 after 4. Promising start from New Zealand after 4 overs, none for 23. It's a good start. They'll need to keep going if they can. Shannon, thanks for joining us. You say, I think New Zealand will be knocked out. I wouldn't discount New Zealand. It's a tough ask chasing 398, but they'll give it a go. They've started well. This game, well, it's only 4 overs into the run chase. Anything can happen. We saw that with Glenn Maxwell the other night. So you just have to have belief and back yourself to do it. So if there's one team who will fight and scrap until the end, that's New Zealand. They always do that. Bumrah in. This one full. Traps Conway on the pads, going down the leg side. Ball trickles out to the leg side and there's no run. Bumrah, none for 15 from his 2.1 overs. And he's been a good bowler for India in this campaign. leading wicket taker as well. Bumrah in again. And this one down the leg side. It's going to be called a wide. Extra run for New Zealand. They'll take those. They'll take the extras. They'll take the no balls and wides and leg byes and byes. Take every extra run they can get. Always helps when you're chasing a score of this magnitude of 398, which is quite an imposing total. Bumrah in. This one down the leg side. Conway gets a bit of bat on this. It races to the fine leg boundary for 4. There'll be 5 wides as well. So I think Conway didn't get any bat on that. They just missed everything. Down the leg side, 4 wides. Sorry, 5 wides in the end. Thought for a moment there Conway got a bit of bat on that, but he didn't. So New Zealand will take that. Back-to-back wides in this over from Bumrah. So he's bowled a few extras today. A couple of wides here and there. It all helps for New Zealand. Doesn't matter. They'll take the runs, however they'll come. They'll take every run they can get. Bonus, 5 wides. Bumrah in. This one, an inside edge from Conway. Goes down to fine leg for a single. So Bumrah finally bowls the second ball of this over after 2 wides. And it's been a very good start from New Zealand. You have to say from India, just haven't quite found their line and length yet with the ball. Been a little bit wayward with the wides and the extras. They'll be hoping to cut that down as the innings progresses. But for New Zealand, this is a good start. They needed this start to boost their confidence. Bumrah in, this one full, driven by Ravinder. Can't get it past cover, and there's no run. None for 30, New Zealand. Chasing 398 to go through to the final on Sunday. And whoever wins tonight will face off against the winner tomorrow. Africa and Australia. Second semi-final. And then the final will be on Sunday in Ahmedabad. And then we will know who will win this World Cup. Bumrah in, this one full. Inside edge onto the 5 there for Ravinder. And there's no run. Bumrah, much better from him. This one coming back into Ravinder, just an inside edge onto his thigh. So he is dangerous, Bumrah, if there's a bit of swing in the air and off the pitch. The Indian bowlers have exploited that in this World Cup. They've got the ball to swing and nip around under lights. But they haven't quite got it right yet. They've been a little bit wayward. Bumrah in. This one full. Not a timed shot there by Ravinder. Mistimes it. Plays it back to Bumrah for no run. Dot ball. So Bumrah's done well to come back in this over. After a couple of wides, and he's found his line and length again, which is what you would expect from Bumrah. But a promising start from New Zealand nonetheless. None for 30, not a bad start. Need to maximise this power play. Bumrah in. This one full. And driven back by Ravinder to Bumrah for no run. It's the end of the over. None for 30 after 5. None for 30 after 5. And New Zealand approaching this first power play very well. Got to maximise it. Get every run that it can. And try and do that if they can. Got to make sure that they capitalise in this first 10 over period of the power play. It's going to be change of the bowling. Siraj is out of the attack, and it's going to be Mohammad Shami into the attack. He's bowled pretty well in this World Cup, Shami. He's only played a few games. He didn't play all the games, but his first game was against New Zealand, the game in Dharamshala in the group stage, and he hasn't looked back since. He's taken a few wickets, and he's been one of India's best bowlers in this tournament. They all have, the quicks and the spinners. So he's going to have a go. He's taken 16 wickets at an average of 9.5, which is pretty good. Shami into Conway. This one an outside edge and taken. An outstanding catch from Rahul, diving to his right. In front of first slip, takes the catch. Conway went for the drive, outside edge, and Shami strikes with his first delivery of his spell. And Devon Conway can't believe it. A bit of movement, a bit of shape away. Rahul takes a comfortable, well, in the end, it was a comfortable catch in the end, but a very good catch as well. Yep, Conway just fishing on that off stump outside of it, got the outside edge. Rahul did the rest, and Shami picks up his first of the evening, and it only took him his first delivery of his first over to do it. And Devon Conway has to go for 13, and it's 1 for 30 for New Zealand. Well, New Zealand lose the first wicket. Devon Conway out. Caught behind by Rahul off the bowling of Shami for 13, and he has to depart. Now brings Kane Williamson out to the middle, the New Zealand captain. And he's got a big job to do in order to get these runs for New Zealand. He's capable of doing it. Kane Williamson. He's only played limited matches in this tournament with injury. And New Zealand would need him to score a big score tonight. But Mohammad Shami, how often has he done it in this tournament? Comes on, gets a wicket with his first ball. He's in now to Williamson. This one full. Left alone outside off stump by Williamson. Through to the keeper. And there's no run. Excellent from Shami. A bit of shape away. And Conway went for the bait. Played at it. Outside edge was found. Rahul took a very good catch. Shami in. This one full. And left alone by Williamson. Through to the keeper, no run. Good start by Shami here. A wicket and a couple of dots. Excellent start by Shami. Getting that ball to swing under the lights as he always does in this tournament. The Indian bowlers have done that, quite a lot of them. And India, first wicket for them in this innings. Shami in. This one defended by Williamson. No run. John says, seems like the disease of not using your feet and fencing outside of stump is spreading. Very good catch, poor batting. Yes, he was disappointed, Conway. He shouldn't have really played at that delivery, really. Should have just left it, but that's easy in hindsight. But you have to say it's been good bowling from Shami. Always gets those wickets when needed. That's what he did there. Shami in. And this one, plain a miss. Past the outside edge of Williamson. Through to the keeper, no run. It's a good over from Shami. 1 ball left. And it potentially could be a wicket maiden. And that will be good for India. First wicket down in this run chase. But then we need some good partnerships, New Zealand. It's only a run rate of 8 and over. But they will need some support. Good partnership batting is required if they are going to get this done. Shami is in. This one full, driven by Williamson. Pass backward point, and it will get to the boundary for 4. So a boundary to end the over for Williamson and for New Zealand. Good over from Shami, got the wicket of Conway. It's the end of the over, 1 for 34. After 6, 4 overs left of the power play. And India strike. Not a bad start from New Zealand up until that wicket of Conway. And India have done well to get back control in this match with their first wicket of this run chase in the semi-final. Williamson, Ravinder, and at the crease, they've got a big job to do as Bumrah continues into his 4th over. He's in. This one angling into Ravinder. Hits him on the thigh. And there's no run. Rohit Sharma looking calm, looking relaxed. He's will be pleased with how India have approached this semi-final, given India's history in semi-finals. So India do have the upper hand, but as we know, things can change quickly in this game. So the job is not done yet. They've still got a long way to go if they want to play in that final on Sunday. And this one inside edge by Ravinder down to fine leg. He will pick up a single. He moves on to 9. And New Zealand are 1 for 35. New Zealand dressing room. It was a tough day for them with the ball. New Zealand had a difficult day with the ball. Struggled to take wickets. India batted really well to post this score of 397, so 398 for New Zealand to win. It's no easy task in this first semi-final here at the Wankhede Stadium. Bumrah in. This one a plain miss by Williamson. Through to the keeper, no run. Good from Bumrah again. Challenging that outside edge from Williamson. Bumrah in. And this one, outside edge, not given. There's an appeal for caught behind. That one came back into Williamson with the angle from Bumrah. Just straight in a little bit as it passed the outside edge. Probably a play and a miss. India deciding whether to review or not. They've decided not to. So maybe it's missed the outside edge altogether. Let's have a look. This one just moving away slightly off the outside edge. Yeah, just hitting the back thigh, back pad of Williamson. That's where the noise came from. It was a good delivery from Bumrah. The angle in and just a nip away. And he's done very well there, Williamson, not to get an outside edge. Bumrah in. This one left alone by Williamson. Through the keeper, no one. Jihan. Welcome, Jihan. You say saw Kohli block his way to 100. Well, he's got 50 ODI hundreds now. He batted well again, I suppose. And a record that is now broken. He's got the record now, Curly, most ODI hundreds. Bumrah in, this one on leg stump. And Williamson works it out to mid-wicket for no run. It's the end of the over. It's 1 for 35. Not a bad over from Jasprit Bumrah, just the one from it. As India look to defend 398. So let's hope we have an exciting finish to this game. Odds are against New Zealand, but we know with New Zealand, they're always capable of doing things that seem impossible. But they always give it a good go. They always give it a good fight. And Williamson and Ravindra going about it in their own way. Obviously, India are in front at this stage. None for 61 after 7. New Zealand, 1 for 35. But I suppose for New Zealand, the important thing is partnerships. Shami in. And this one beats Ravindra. Pass his outside edge through to the keeper, no run. He's bowling well, Shami. He's getting the ball to talk. That one came back in to Ravindra. It's top-class bowling from Shami. Just good old-fashioned test match bowling. Nothing more. Nothing fancy. Good seam presentation. Many bowlers get carried away with the wobble seam. And Shami, he's old school. Traditional methods. And that's keeping a straight seam. Let the seam do the talking off the pitch if there's a bit of movement. So that's why he's had the success he's had in this tournament. Shami's in. This one full driven by Ravindra, but he can't get it past the fielder at cover. And there's no run. He's 9 off 20. Williamson 4 off 9. So everything going the way of India here, but they'll keep reminding themselves that the job is not done yet. They still need to try and restrict New Zealand if they are going to book a place in the final on Sunday. Shami's in again. This one full, driven by Ravindra. Pass mid-off for 4. A boundary for Ravindra. That's his second boundary. He moves on to 13. That's good from Ravindra. Wasn't a bad ball from Shami, really, but just very good placement from Ravindra. Was able to get that pass mid-off, get it into the boundary for 4 vital runs. So they've got nothing to lose, New Zealand. It's a semi-final. Go out there and see what you can do. Shami in, and this one takes the outside edge, and Rahul catches it comfortably. That's the end of Ravindra and Mohammad Shami. This is what he's done throughout this whole tournament. He comes in and picks up wickets left, right, and centre. He's already got 2 for 8. A superb delivery from him. This one angling in to Ravindra, the left-hander. And as we saw with Devon Conway, got the outside edge. Outstanding bowling from Shami. Nothing more, just simple. Good seam presentation. And Ravindra, he was tempted to play that one. Got the outside edge. Just a little bit of a flick on the ultra edge. Shami's done it again. He's got 2. India, they're about to break the hoodoo in semi-finals. Well, it looks like it. Shami gets another one. Ravindra's got to go for 13. It's 2 for 39. John says, very timid start by the Kiwis. Pressure is getting to them. Well, when you're chasing 398 and you're facing a good bowling attack, then I suppose the pressure will get to you a little bit. That's been the problem that many sides have faced against India, is that they haven't been able to put the pressure back onto the bowlers. It's just the bowlers have been so good, and other teams don't have any answers, really. So for New Zealand, Daryl Mitchell comes to the crease. Shami in. This one traps Mitchell on the pads. There's an appeal for LBW from Shami. Probably a little bit too high. Rod Tucker walks away and says not out. And in the end, it's a top ball. Shami targeting those pads. So targeting the outside edge of both openers. Conway caught behind off Shami's bowling. And now Ravinder, the same thing has happened to him. Outside edge again, through to the keeper. K.R. Rahul makes no mistake. Shami in. This one down the leg side. And it's going to be called wide. Has to rebowl that one again, Shami, but he's bowling pretty well. He's keeping things tight. 2 for 9. Very economical again from Shami. And New Zealand, can they put some pressure on the Indian bowlers? That's what they need to do. Just need to do something. That's what many teams have struggled, as I mentioned before, that just can't put India under some sort of pressure. Shami in. This one full and only defended to mid-on from Mitchell, and there's no run. It's the end of the over. 2 for 40. Successful over for Shami in India. And for New Zealand, they lose their second wicket. 2 for 40 after 8. And what can they do, New Zealand? Try and put India's bowlers under some sort of pressure if they can. Just something. Make them do something that they don't want to do. But India are off to a very good start in this defence of 398. They're well on track to be playing in the final on Sunday, either against South Africa or Australia. And that will be the second semi-final. That will be tomorrow. Or it could be on Thursday. That could be on Friday. My mistake. Thursday or Friday for that semi-final, because we all know why, because of the rain. Bumrah in. This one left alone by Williamson. Through to the keeper, no run. But India on track to make their first final in a World Cup since 2011. And we all know the story there. They won the tournament back then, so they'll be hoping to do the same in 2023. And they've been the team to beat. No one has really competed against them, really. All the other teams have struggled. Bumrah in. And this one full left alone by Williamson. Sees it through to the keeper, no run. Kane Williamson, he'll try and steady the ship as always, and he'll try and play his own methodical innings. And we'll try and get New Zealand back into the contest. Daryl Mitchell yet to get off the mark. He's only faced 2 balls, and Williamson's faced 11 balls for his 4. Bumrah running in again. And this one again left alone by Williamson. Through the keeper, no run. Done for 23, Bumrah, into his 5th over. He's bowled pretty well. Well, really a typical start with the ball from India. The bowler's doing the job, early wickets. Bumrah in. This one worked by Williamson to the leg side, and there is no run. New Zealand chasing 398. 2 for 40. Williamson, Mitchell in at the crease for New Zealand. What can they do? Got nothing to lose, New Zealand. Nothing to lose at all. It's a semi-final knockout. Nothing to lose at all. Give it a good go. Bumrah in. And this one full when Williamson works it to mid-wicket. To square leg. Only for a dot ball, though. Couldn't get it past. They've been good in the field as well, India. Backing up the bowlers, keeping the pressure on the batters. which has been good. You need a pretty good fielding unit to back up your bowlers, and they've certainly done that in this tournament. India, they've no weakness whatsoever. Bumrah in, this one full, defended by Williamson. And there is no run. It's into the over, 2 for 40. It's a maiden over from Bumrah. 1 over left of the power play. It's a promising start from India. Not far away from booking a place in the final of this World Cup. They are the team to beat. They have been the team to beat in this World Cup. As Shami will continue 2 for 9 from his 2 overs. It's pretty good bowling from Mohammad Shami. Shami in. And this one full, left by Mitchell. Through to the keeper, no run. Daryl Mitchell yet to get off the mark. But it's been tight bowling from Shami. Very hard to get off the mark to him if he's bowling in this way. Two for 9 for Shami. He's in again to Mitchell. This one full. And Mitchell, missed time drive, inside edge to the leg side. There's no run. Shami probing on the pads of Mitchell here. Yet again, perfect seam presentation, inside edge from Daryl Mitchell. Looks a little bit tentative. So he's yet to score. Four balls he's faced, and he's yet to get off the mark. Shami is in again. This one full down the leg start. And it's going to be 4. It's going to go to the boundary for 4. It's going to be 5 wides, you would think. Maybe a bit of bats, maybe. Nope, 4. It's going to be 4 wides. So 5 wides at the end of that. And that's handy for New Zealand's point of view. Picking up the 5 wides. There we go. So 5 runs, 5 extra runs for New Zealand with those 5 wides. It definitely helps the cause. Shami in. This one driven by Mitchell for a quick single to mid-on. Direct hit. But he's made it home easily, but I think we'll go upstairs just to be sure. But I think Daryl Mitchell made his ground comfortably in the end. And he's off the mark, finally, after the relentless pressure from Shami. Good piece of fielding to hit the stumps, but he was well home, Mitchell, so he's not really concerned. So we've gone upstairs just to be sure. So we're just going to have a look at this run out. Let's have a look. Grounds his bat, Mitchell. Yeah, so he's grounded that. Past the popping crease, the bat's grounded as the stumps have lit up, so he is fine. He survives another day. So he'll be not out on the big screen. Shami in. This one punched by Williamson to mid-off. There's no run. 2 balls left of the 10th over. It's been a good power play from India's point of view. They've done really well to keep the pressure on. One ball left. Sorry, 2 balls left of the 10th over. Sorry. Here's Shami in. This one beats Williamson past his outside edge, through to the keeper, no run. He's getting the ball to talk, Shami. Bit of movement, bit of swing, the angle in, and just a nip away from Williamson. That one just holding its line. And Kane Williamson, he didn't go searching for it, kept the bat on the original line. Wasn't tempted to fish outside the off stump there. Here's Shami in. This one only driven up to mid-off from Williamson. There's no run at the end of the over, 2:46. Good over from Shami. And it's a good first 10 overs from India in this first power play. 2:46 New Zealand. Chasing 398, which seems a very long way away from here. But they'll give it a go. Let's see what they can do. So 2:46 New Zealand. And Mohammad Shami, a pretty good record in World Cups. 49 wickets in total in World Cups for him, the most ever. And he's walking off, Shami. He's going to go off, get some treatment. And change of the bowling is going to be Siraj back into the attack. Bumrah out of the attack. Siraj has only bowled 2 overs, none for 8. So he's back in for his 3rd over. Siraj in to Mitchell. This one full. Mitchell defends back to the bowler, and there's no run. Shahid says, India all the way. Yes, they've played pretty well, and they're certainly controlling this game. Really, they've been the team to beat in this World Cup. Really, they've just played better than anyone else, and won't be a surprise if they win the whole thing. Siraj is win. Siraj in. This one lofted. Over cover for 4 from Mitchell. To the cover boundary for 4 runs. It will bring up New Zealand's 50. And Daryl Mitchell gets his first boundary. Yeah, a little bit too full there from Siraj, and a lofted shot. Over cover for 4 from Mitchell. That's just a simple shot. He's a very powerful hitter. It's a nice boundary. He'll pick up 4 runs. Siraj in. This one left alone by Mitchell. Through to the keeper, no run. So 50 up for New Zealand in the 11th over. And Jadeja looks like he's going to get warmed up. He's going to have a bowl. Not a surprise. And Kuldeep Yadav as well. Siraj is in. And this one defended by Mitchell to mid-wicket. And there's no run. Well, for New Zealand, it was a power play that saw them lose 2 wickets for 46 runs in the first 10 overs. Mohammad Shami broke it open as always, removing both the openers in Conway and Ravinder. Does it again, Shami? Siraj in, this one short, pulled to fine leg for 4 from Mitchell. And that will be his 2nd boundary in this over. Short ball there from Siraj. Didn't really quite get up, really. Just comfortable for Mitchell just to get inside the line of that and pull that down to fine leg for 4. Just helped it on its way. Shahid says, I'm from India and nice your voice. Well, thank you. You're not the first one to say that. Sirajian, this one full and defended by Mitchell. And there is no run. It's the end of the over, 2 for 54. 11 overs done. And New Zealand, what can they do? They've got nothing to lose. India certainly in front in this game, but what can they do? What can they do here in New Zealand? What can they do to unsettle India? Do something different. Try and put them under some sort of pressure of some sort. What can they do? So it's going to be Jadeja into the attack. We're going to see some spin. And Rohit Sharma changing the bowlers around. Shami off. Jadeja in. Going to see some turn in this pitch, hopefully. Jadeja in. This one defended by Williamson. No run. He's had a pretty good World Cup as well, Jadeja with the ball. Very good all-round cricketer. Can bat as well. Can field. And he can bowl as well. Jadeja in. And Williamson gets it past mid-wicket. And he'll pick up a single down to deep mid-on. He moves on to 5 off 20 and Mitchell's 9 off 11. So partnership required quickly for New Zealand just to rebuild. See what they can do. Make sure the required run rate doesn't get out of hand and keep that in check and hope for the best, I suppose. Jadeja is in. This one reverse sweep and taken. No, it's not. It came off the arm, I think. Daryl Mitchell nodded his head quickly. He said, nope, I think that came off my arm. He went for the reverse sweep. Taken at slip by Rohit Sharma. Umpire Rod Tucker gave it not out. India not going to go upstairs for the review. Clearly came off the arm. Daryl Mitchell looked unfazed. Let's have a look on the replay. Reverse sweep from Mitchell. Yeah, just came off the arm. India thought they had the wicket, but came off the arm of Daryl Mitchell when he played that reverse sweep. So not out. Jadeja in. This one down the leg side and helped on its way by Mitchell to the boundary for 4. And he will pick up another boundary, Daryl Mitchell. 13 off 13. New Zealand 2 for 59. Yeah, Jadeja just getting his line wrong there. Just, now it's a no ball as well. So it's a free hit and 4 runs. Oh dear. Well, it's not a surprise. He always does that. Jadeja always bowls no balls with his bowling. Free hit and Mitchell works it down to long on for a single. Couldn't capitalize on the free hit. But nonetheless, New Zealand picked up a no ball in 4, so 5 runs off it. Yeah, that one coming off the arm of Mitchell. Jadeja in. This one worked out by Williamson to deep cover for a single. Jadeja in. This one gets the outside edge to short third man for a dot ball. End of the over. Not a bad over from New Zealand. It's the end of the over. It's 12 overs completed. And New Zealand scoring some runs, giving themselves an opportunity at least. Shahid says that was out. Well, Clearly came off the arm. No doubt about that. Just clearly off the arm there. Silva Rahul says, is there any chance, is there rain, any rain? I'm not sure, Silva Rahul. I don't think there's any rain. Are you talking about the semi-final tomorrow between Australia and South Africa? Well, if you are, then there has been talk about rain. But I don't think it's going to be raining here in Mumbai. Looks pretty calm out there. So I don't think there's any chances of rain tonight, but could be a different story tomorrow in Kolkata. Let's hope the rain stays away and we have a good semi-final against South Africa and Australia. Siraj is in. And this one, an inside edge. It beats KL Rahul. It races to the boundary for 4. Williamson picks up a boundary. Maybe came off the inside edge. Nope, it missed everything. It's 4 byes. Missed everything. Missed the bat. Missed the keeper. Down to the boundary for 4. That will certainly help New Zealand's chances. Not far away from the inside edge, though. Williamson trying to work it to the leg side. That one just cut him in half from Siraj. Jack back in. Missed everyone. 4 byes. Siraj is in. And this one slashed away through backward point for 4 from Williamson. He's starting to put the foot down a little bit here and put Siraj under pressure. Yeah, not a bad shot. Sliced, cut away nicely through backward point. Four runs. Siraj in. And this one jags back and hits Williamson on the body. And there's no run. Probably hit him on the arm or the stomach. Yeah, that one coming back into him, and let's have a look. Yeah, hit him on the ribs. Yeah, in the stomach there. Yeah, that's got to hurt. It's not a good place to be hit. Yeah. So he seems to be okay, Williamson. He's fine. 2 for 70, New Zealand. A couple of boundaries in this over, 4 byes and 4 runs from Williamson. The physio was going to run out to treat him, but he said, nope, I'm fine, I'm okay. Don't need the physio, so he's been sent back. So Siraj, none for 20 from 3.5 overs. Probably New Zealand looking to target him. Siraj is in. This one guided off the face of the bat from Williamson. Through backward point, and he'll pick up a single. The score moves on to 2 for 71 for New Zealand. 2 balls left to the 13th over. Daryl Mitchell, 14 off 15. Williamson, 11 off 25. New Zealand need 398 for victory. Can they do it? Well, it's going to be a tough ask, but let's see what they can do. Definitely India in front at the moment. Siraj is in. And this one defended by Mitchell to the offside, and there's no run. Dot ball. So that run rate climbing for New Zealand required. Siraj is in. This one full on the pads. Mitchell works it out to the leg side. He'll pick up a leg bye to finish. I think that hit him on the thigh. It did. It's the end of the over. 2 for 72 for New Zealand. Not a bad over from New Zealand. They need more profitable overs than that to claw their way back into this match. Two for 69. New Zealand need a further 329 runs to win. Definitely India in the driver's seat. Definitely on top in this match. They'll be hoping that they can get the job done and they can book a place in the final on Sunday. They'll either come up against South Africa or Australia, which is tomorrow's semi-final. And that will be from Eden Gardens in Kolkata. So New Zealand, 5.5 and over is the current run rate. The required run rate is 8.81. So they need someone to put the pressure back on the Indian bowlers if they can. Just someone to, put the pressure back on in some capacity. Jadeja in this one. Collects the outside edge of Mitchell. It will trickle out to backward point, no run. Jadeja in. This one defended by Mitchell. Back to Jadeja, no run. Nothing to lose for New Zealand. If they lose this match, well, I suppose it's not the be-all end-all. Jadeja in. This one chipped over cover by Mitchell. We'll pick up a couple of runs out there in the deep. We'll come back for 2. 2 for 74. Jadeja in. And this one defended by Mitchell to the leg side, and there's no run. Jadeja in. And this one again defended by Mitchell for no run. Jadeja in. This one defended by Mitchell to cover, no run. End of the 14th over. For New Zealand, it's 2 for 74. Two for 74 at the end of the over. And New Zealand going along steadily. They haven't really forced the issue with the Indian bowlers. They haven't been able to because India have been bowling well. And it's been difficult for New Zealand to try and put any sort of pressure back on them, really. It's just the way India have gone in this tournament, the formalities, which is bat well, get a good score. The bowlers do the early damage, and that's what they've done. 14 overs left, so we're nearly halfway in this run chase. New Zealand need to do something. Siraj is in. This one short. Top edge from Williamson. It will fly over the keeper's head for 6. Not convincing from Kane Williamson, but nonetheless 6 runs, and that's a much-needed 6 for New Zealand. Went to pull that Williamson. It was a short delivery from Siraj, but helped it on its way in the end, Williamson, down to that boundary at fine leg over the keeper's head. And in the end, very good shot that went for 6. So New Zealand, that will do them some confidence at 6 there. They need a few more, though. I think India hit right about nearly 26s in their innings. Siraj is in. And this one worked off the face of the bat from Williamson. He just glides it down to third man for an easy single. And that's good batting. Hit the 6, get a single, already 7 runs off the over. So 8 and over required, you would say. That's not out of hand. Once it gets over to 12 and over to a ball, it'll get a little bit difficult from then on in. So New Zealand have to make sure that that run rate doesn't get out of hand. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult to come back. Siraj is in. This one full and worked down the ground by Mitchell to long on for an easy single. So if Mitchell and Williamson can get going here, already a good partnership establishing. You just never know. You just never know. But I suppose you can't really discount anything, really. It's not over till it's over. It's not over till the last ball or the last over. So Siraj in. This one inside edge. He will race away to the fine leg boundary for 4. Bit of luck from Williamson. That could have easily chopped on to his stumps, that. But in the end, it missed the stumps altogether. Went to the boundary for 4. It's been an expensive over from Mohammad Siraj. Hasn't been at his best tonight. Yeah, that one just missing the leg stump, just. And Kane Williamson could have easily chopped on and played on. Not to be. 4 runs, an expensive over from Siraj, already 12 off the over. He's in. This one worked by Williamson to third man for an easy single. And he moves on to 23 off 29. So Williamson just starting to get motoring with a few boundaries. A 6 and a 4 in this over. So he'll be hoping to get something going for New Zealand in this innings. Just something, some momentum. Put some sort of pressure back on India if they can. Here's Siraj, he's in. This one full, defended by Mitchell. Back to Siraj for no run. Good over from New Zealand. End of the over, 2 for 87. Not a bad over. Profitable over from New Zealand. Kane Williamson in particular. A 6 and a boundary. Not bad from his point of view. And we're slowly coming towards the end of this World Cup. It's been a long 6 weeks of cricket. Ups and downs, and we've seen many great performances, many great achievements. And we're slowly coming to the end of another World Cup. Not long to go now, a couple of games. This game, tomorrow, South Africa and Australia. And then the final on Sunday, and that will be the end of the tournament for another 4 years. So it'll be interesting to see who will come out on top, who will win this tournament. It's definitely India's tournament to lose. They've been playing well, as we've seen tonight and as we've seen throughout the whole tournament. And drinks here in the Wankhede Stadium. And New Zealand at drinks, 2 for 87. They need a further 311 runs from 35 overs remaining to win, which they will need to get going soon. Just up that run rate a bit. They sort of did that in the last over, you would say. But 5.80 current run rate. Required run rate is 8.88. Partnership is good, 48. They just need to keep going if they can at a good rate. New Zealand. So only 15 overs completed, so let's see what they can do. Still plenty of cricket to go. India on track, potentially for a final berth on Sunday. It's been tough for New Zealand. Mohamed Shami picking up the first 2 wickets. He got some movement off the seam. And he's been pretty good. The Indian bowlers have been pretty spot on in this run chase. Taking the wickets. It's all been Shami with the first 2 to put New Zealand under pressure. Can they be beaten, India, in this tournament? Well, it looks pretty tough that other teams are finding it difficult to try and beat India. But definitely their tournament to lose, you would think. So 398 they need, New Zealand. 2 for 87 in this first semi-final of the tournament. It's going to be change of the bowling. It's going to be Kuldeep Yadav to replace Ravindra Jadeja. Going to bowl his leg spin. He's in now to Williamson, who works it to the offside, and there's no run. Dot ball. Kuldeep in. And this one worked through square leg by Williamson for a single. He moves on to 24. New Zealand 2 for 88. First server after drinks. Kuldeep Yadav, he's bowled well in this tournament. Kuldeep in. And this one swept by Mitchell to find leg for another single. He moves on to 18 off 26. Williamson 24 off 31. And that will bring up the 50 partnership for the third wicket between Williamson and Mitchell. It's been a good partnership, good contribution from both batters, evenly spread in the contribution. Kuldeep in. This one pulled by Williamson to the fielder in the deep on the leg side, and he'll pick up a single only. 2 for 90, New Zealand. I suppose New Zealand, they do have some comfort, I suppose, in terms of knowing that they nearly got the job done against Australia when they were chasing 380 odd. They only went down by 5 runs. That one swept nicely by Mitchell. Down to find leg for a couple of runs. And that's good batting there from Darryl Mitchell. Picks up a couple, moves on to 20. So for New Zealand, as I was saying, they nearly chased down 380 against Australia. That was in Dharamshala, different sort of pitch than here in Mumbai. But I suppose when you have one of those games and those innings where you nearly got the job done, you chased nearly a similar total that you're chasing tonight. Who knows? This one swept nicely by Mitchell again. Down a fine leg for a single. Not a bad way to win the over. It's the end of the over. 2 for 93. So for New Zealand, nothing to lose really in this run chase. Semi-final, there's no tomorrow. Give it a go. See what you can do. John says, sleep Beckett. So I'll tune out for this morning. I'll be back for the next semi. Well, thank you, John. Yes, the next semi-final, yep, South Africa and Australia. And that will be later on today in Kolkata. So the winner of that will verse the winner of India and New Zealand on Sunday for the final. But thank you, John, for tuning in as always. So Shami, he's back after a spell. He's back. And he's in now to Mitchell. And this one Mitchell defends to mid-on, and there's no run. Shami 215 from his 3.1 overs. He's been very economical. He's bowled well again. And he's the main bowler, go-to bowler for Rohit Sharma. That's strike bowler. You can pick a couple of wickets up here and there. Shami in. This one full and lofted by Mitchell down the ground for 6. An outstanding shot from Daryl Mitchell. Effortlessly played down the ground for a maximum. It's not a bad shot. Really good shot. In the slot. Lofted down the ground straight by Mitchell. That's his strength. He always plays that shot down the ground. He always looks to score down the ground off the spinners and also off the quicks. That's a very strong shot of his. Not a surprise. 6 runs. Shami in. And this one defended by Mitchell, and there's no run. (27 off 31, Mitchell. 25 off 32 for Kane Williamson. And 2 for 99, New Zealand. Shami in. And this one driven through extra cover for 4 from Mitchell. Outstanding shot again from Mitchell. Power. And that will bring up the 100 for New Zealand. 2 for 103. Very good shot again. Shami just erring on that fuller side, but an excellent drive through the covers from Mitchell. Powerful through extra cover. You'll pick up a boundary. 100 up for New Zealand as well. Some much needed boundaries in this over for New Zealand. 10 off it already, 6 and a 4. So Mitchell starting to put his foot down in some sort of capacity. Shami in. This one defended to mid-off by Mitchell. And there's no run. He's quite strong, Daryl Mitchell. Down the ground. As we saw with that lofted shot that he played off Shami for 6. He prefers to go to that part of the ground in his ODI career. As we have a look at the graphic there of his scoring areas in his career. Here's Shami in. This one full. Punched down the ground by Mitchell to long on for a single. Good over from New Zealand. End of the over, 2 for 104. Two for 104 at the end of the 17th over. Not a bad start from New Zealand in that last over to try and put some sort of pressure on the Indian bowlers. It's all been one-way traffic. Kuldeep Yadav to continue. So Kuldeep Yadav is going to continue into his second over. He's in now to Mitchell, who plays it down to long on. He'll pick up a single. Races to 33 or 35. So India will know that, yes, we may be in front of the game at this stage, but the game is not done yet. We still have to get the job done. There's still a long way to go. A lot of cricket to be played in these remaining overs. And anything can happen. You never know. Kuldeep in. This one short. Pulled by Williamson to deep square leg. He'll pick up a boundary. Misfilled by the fielder at deep square leg. I think it was Shreyas Iyer, who pulls up a little bit lame. He went for the dive there, Iyer. And his foot and leg got caught in the turf, but as He would have saved that boundary, but a misfield. His knee went into the turf. The ball went into the rope for 4, so a much-needed boundary for Williamson. But Shreyas Iyer coming off a good century today. Just looked a little bit sore after he fielded that ball, but he seems to be okay. He's back on his feet, and he seems to be okay. Just a little bit sore after that dive and that the knee went into the turf. Kuripin. This one traps Williamson on the crease. Hits him on the pads. It's an appeal for LBW. Looked leg-sided to me. Umpire Rod Tucker gave it not out. Rohit Sharma talking to KL Rahul about the line. Where did it pitch? They've gone upstairs for the review. So they've gone upstairs for the DRS. Review for LBW. The wrong in there from, it was the wrong in from, no, it wasn't the wrong in from Kuldeep Yadav. It was out of the front of the hand and then just spinning back in to Kane Williamson. Now then, did he get some bat on this? No, it doesn't look like he got any bat on it. Hit him on the pad. So it looks like it's pad first. Where did it pitch? It pitched in line. Impact is in line. Wickets is umpire's call. So just clipping the leg stump. Umpire Rod Tucker gave it not out, so it will stay not out. Kane Williamson gets away with that one. And a dot ball at the end of all that. For a moment there, it looked probably missing leg stump, but in the end, it was just clipping leg stump, so marginal with umpire's call. So he gets away with it, Williamson, but just caught on the crease. Kuldeep Yadav challenging those pads. And unfortunately, gets away with it. Kuldeep in. This one, attempted sweep by Williamson. Nearly collected his leg stump. It will race away to the boundary for 4. For 4 byes. It missed everyone. 4 leg byes in the end. Went for the sweep, Williamson. This one was a wrong-un from Kuldeep Yadav. Out of the back of the hand, went for the sweep. Hit his leg. Nearly bowled him around his legs. KL Rahul didn't glove it. And it went to the boundary for 4. So New Zealand just starting to get some boundaries here and there. Just starting to lift that run rate ever so slightly. Already 9 runs off the over. 4 and 4 leg byes in a single. Kuldeep in. This one 4 gets the outside edge. Out to point. Williamson went for a single, was turned back by Mitchell. Halfway down the pitch, but he makes it home. So Kane Williamson's, dicing with a bit of risk here. In the end, it was a dot ball. It wasn't a single. Williamson had to turn back. I think he's made it home. Has he? Oh, he's out. Oh, yes, he is out. He's run out. Oh, yes, he's short of his ground, Williamson. Now then, it could be KL Rahul touching the stumps with his gloves. That could be the question here. Yes, he's not out, Williamson. KL Rahul touched the stumps with his gloves before the bails were broken, before the ball made contact. So the wicket is already put down, essentially. And Williamson now grounds his bat there, but KL Rahul already knocked the stumps over. Oh, this one's a real tight one. But judging from that, KL Rahul did knock the gloves with the stumps, and the bails did light up on the sing bails. And then as the ball reached the stumps, Williamson made his ground just. It's a very fine margin, this one. You can see there the bail was already lit up when KL Rahul was collecting the ball in front of the stumps before the ball reached his gloves. And Williamson made his ground before the ball touched the stumps. And I think this would be not out, I would think, because the wicket has already been broken before the ball made contact with the stumps. It was a good throw, but be not out because the stumps were already broken. And that's the correct decision there by umpire Joel Wilson. Third umpire, not out. Corey Pin. This one full and tossed up, but Williamson works it out to long off for a single to end the 18th over. End of the over, 2 for 114. After 18 overs. Two for 114. 18 overs done. New Zealand chasing 398. Yeah, that run out of the last ball of the last over. And KL Rahul broke the stumps with his gloves before the ball made contact. So not out. Correct decision at the end of the day. So Jadeja to continue. So Jadeja to continue. None for 10 from his 2. And he's going to be bowling to Kane Williamson. He's on strike. Is there any twists and turns in this semi-final? Anything miraculous going to happen? We'll have to wait and see. Could New Zealand fight back and do something out of the ordinary? Or will it be India marching on to the final on Sunday in Ahmedabad? Well, let's see. Jadeja's in. This one worked defended by Williamson to cover, and there's no run. Jadeja in. And this one defended by Williamson for no run. Jadeja in. And this one worked by Williamson through square leg. He'll pick up a single. Good partnership developing with Williamson and Mitchell. 31 for Williamson, 33 for Mitchell. 2 for 115 New Zealand. 3 balls left to the 19th over. So nearly halfway. So just these two are just establishing a partnership and seeing what they can do. Try and mount a challenge to India. Jadeja is in. And this one defended on the front foot by Mitchell, and there's no run. Doing it comfortably, Mitchell. Jadeja in. This one reverse swept by Mitchell. Gets it past the fielder at backward point. And Shreyas Iyer would do the fielding out there in the deep. He'll cut it off for a couple of runs. So good proactive batting there from Mitchell. Playing the reverse sweep, trying to put Jadeja under some sort of pressure. Couple of runs and Shreyas Iyer doing very well out there in the deep. Jadeja in. This one, a dropping one to the offside by Mitchell. He'll pick up a very good single to end the over. End of the over, 2 for 118 after 19. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. We'll be here tomorrow for the second semi-final, which will be against South Africa and Australia. That will be from Eden Gardens in Kolkata. So do join us for that second semi-final tomorrow. Should be a good game between South Africa and Australia. And if you haven't done so yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Dibbly-Dobbly podcast YouTube channel. Kuldeep to continue. And this one works by Mitchell off his pads to the leg side. He will pick up a single only. And New Zealand just starting to get into the groove of things now after what was a very up and down sort of start, you would say, with the bat to begin this run chase. But they're just starting to pick up the tempo and the timing now. Kuldeep continuing. This one worked off the leg stump by Williamson. And he'll pick up a single to the leg side. Well, that run rate for New Zealand's just over 9 and over required, 9.07. The current run rate is a run of ball. So they will need a few big overs here just to up that run rate and get that required run rate down. That will be the challenge. Jadeja in, Mitchell gets it through, backward point for 4, misfield from Jasprit Bumrah, went through his hands, and it will go to the deep backward point boundary for 4. India just a little bit sloppy in the field there. Misfield from Bumrah. 4 runs for New Zealand, they'll take them. Here's Kuldeep in, and Mitchell defends on the front foot. There's no run. So New Zealand just picking up boundaries here and there in the over, just to make sure they keep up with the rate. But 2 for 124, just starting to mount a bit of a challenge here to India. India, a little bit sloppy in the field. Bit of a misfield there from Bumrah through his hands. Kuldeep in, and Mitchell works it out to mid-wicket, and there's no run. He's 41 off 42, Mitchell. He's scored pretty quickly. Good support by Kane Williamson at the other end. He's 32 off 41. 2 for 124. Kuldeep in. And this one defended by Mitchell for no run. It's the end of the over. It's 2 for 124. At the end of the 20th over. 2 for 124. And New Zealand, can they do something miraculous? Do something out of the ordinary? Try and win this game. Semi-final. At the end of the day, you win this game, you go through to the final. So there's a World Cup final at stake. So let's hope for a thrilling finish if we can get to that sort of state in this match. So Jadeja to continue. Well, New Zealand, overs 11 to 20, did pretty well. None for 78 in that period. A run rate of 7 and over, which is pretty good after losing 2 wickets in the first 10 overs for 46 runs. So Mitchell and Williamson, this partnership 85 at the moment for New Zealand. Here's Jadeja in. And Williamson advances down the wicket. And he will work it down to long on for a single only. He moves on to 33 of 42. Well, I suppose if you're New Zealand, you still got to believe that there is some sort of hope. Jadeja in. This one swept by Mitchell. Traps him on the pads. There's an appeal for LBW. And quickly given not out by umpire Richard Illingworth, probably outside the line. There. He did get that front pad well outside the line of off stump there. Daryl Mitchell. Not out. Jadeja in. This one played uppishly by Mitchell. Past Jadeja, down to long on for a single. Nearly a caught and bowled opportunity. Gets away with Mitchell. He gets a single. Yeah, that one just holding in the surface a little bit. Jadeja nearly got a hand to that. Out of reach. He's a pretty good fielder. Jadeja in. This one swept by Williamson. Can't beat Bumrah at short fine leg, but they'll get the single nonetheless. And another run onto the total for New Zealand. Jadeja in. And he advances down the wicket and dispatches Jadeja over long on for 6. What a shot from Daryl Mitchell. Into the crowd, all the way for a maximum. Mitchell moves on to 48. That's a very good shot from Daryl Mitchell. Advanced down the wicket, used the feet, got to the pitch of the ball, hit through the line. Jadeja in. This one a play and a miss by Mitchell. Through to the keeper, no run. End of the over, 2 for 133. Daryl Mitchell starting to turn on the gears a bit here. Not a bad shot. Not a bad 6 to end the over. 2 for 133 New Zealand. They certainly needed that 6 from Mitchell. Not a bad over from New Zealand. 9 runs off the over, and that's the required run rate. They need 9 runs and over. So in the last over, they certainly matched the required run rate, but need a few more extra overs to keep up with that rate. So they're just trailing New Zealand underneath the Indian worm on the comparison. Just trailing ever so slightly. So they need a few big overs just to get back in front of that worm. And nearly halfway, 21 overs completed, 2 for 133. Not over yet, Kuldeep Yadav in. And this one swept well by Williamson, down to fine leg. Will it get to the boundary? It won't. The fielder will come around, cut it off for 2. It's good running, good batting from Williamson. It's good from New Zealand just to be proactive, put the spinners under some sort of pressure. Semi-final, it's not over yet. Anything can happen. India, yes, are in front, but job is not done yet. It's a semi-final. Anything can happen. Kuldeep is in. This one played off the back foot by Williamson. Defends to the fielder at mid-on, and there's no run. Well, Daryl Mitchell, he loves hitting the spinners down the ground and the quicks as well. That's a strong shot of his. Kuldeep in. This one, a mistimed sweep shot by Williamson. Traps him on the pads. An appeal for LBW, but quickly given not out. Yeah. Daryl Mitchell. He's played some good shots in this innings. He'll be hoping to be there at the end for New Zealand. This one worked to deep backward square leg by Williamson. He'll pick up a single. such a strong hitter down the ground, Daryl Mitchell. Always hits a lot of sixes down to that long on, long off region. And we've seen in this innings today, he's done that. Kuldeep is in. This one swept by Mitchell. Running fine to fine leg, but the fielder, Siraj, will cut it off for 2. Sorry, we'll cut it off for a single. Just the one. Two for 137, 1 ball left of the 22nd over. Kuldeep in. And this one worked nicely to the deep cover boundary for 4 from Kane Williamson. A boundary for him. He moves into the 40s. Not a bad way to end the over. It's 2 for 141. 2 for 141, 22 overs left, nearly halfway. Kane Williamson. Nice boundary to end the last over. And that's also brought up the 100 partnership for the 3rd wicket as well between Williamson and Mitchell. And that will bring up Daryl Mitchell's 50. First ball of this over from Jadeja. He works it for a single, and it will bring up his 50. Half century for Daryl Mitchell. And Jadeja in. This one defended by Williamson to the leg side. No run. Jadeja in. And this one dispatched down the ground by Williamson to the long on boundary. The fielder does well to cut it off for 2. Good use of the feet from Williamson. Looking to put the pressure on Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav in these spin overs. 100 partnership up. 104. And counting for the 3rd wicket. Jadeja is in. This one defended by Mitchell. There's no run. Jadeja in. This one swept by Mitchell to short fine leg for a quick single. And they'll make it home. There was a direct hit at the stumps, but he made it home in the end, Mitchell. He'll pick up a single. 2 for 144. 1 ball left of the 23rd over for New Zealand. Jadeja in. And this one. Oh, overthrows for 4. Overthrows for 4 from Jadeja. He went down the wicket, Mitchell. He was out of his... Sorry, he went down the wicket, Mitchell. Sorry, it wasn't Mitchell. It was Williamson. He went down the wicket, Williamson. There was an attempted run out. He hit it straight back to Jadeja. He threw it back to the stumps there, Jadeja. And KL Rahul couldn't cut it off to save... Well, to back it up. And it went to the boundary for 4. 4 overthrows. So that's a bit sloppy there from Jadeja. No need to do that. Anyway, New Zealand pick up 4 extra runs. At the end of the over, it's 2 for 148. 23 overs done. 2 for 148. Not needed from Jadeja. Silly from Jadeja it was. No, didn't really need to throw at the stumps there. Goody pin. This one swept by Mitchell. Down to fine leg. And he will pick up a single. 2 for 149, New Zealand. Williamson 46, Mitchell 52. There's no sign of dew. It's absolutely bone dry at the Wankhede Stadium. There's no dew whatsoever on the grass. Goody pin. This one worked off the pads by Williamson. Through square leg. The fielder at deep square leg will cut it off for a single. Shiris Iyer does the fielding. That will bring up the 150 for New Zealand in the 24th over. So there's no dew. Maybe it will come down a bit later on in the innings. We don't know. It's one of those things, dew. It either comes or it doesn't. But no dew as yet. Goodip is in. This one swept. Outside off stump by Mitchell. Down to fine leg. He'll pick up another single. And this partnership just starting to get things motoring along for New Zealand. India, they've got runs on the board, yes. But I think there'll be a little bit concerned about how this partnership is developing. And job is not done yet, that's for sure. Kuldeep is in. This one an appeal for LBW. Traps Williamson on the crease. Maybe got an inside edge onto the pads. Given not out straight away by Rod Tucker. Nodded his head straight away and said not out. I don't think India are going to go upstairs and review that one, I don't think. Rohit Sharma says no. Clearly an inside edge, potentially. Kuldeep in. And this one worked by Williamson. Only to the fielder at cover and there's no run. He's on 47k, Williamson. He's a captain leading from the front here. Oh, yeah. That last delivery from Kuldeep Yadav, the appeal for LBW, turned sharply, missed the inside edge. It was spinning, well, massively, missing the leg stump. Kuldeep in. This one swept by Williamson. Another appeal for LBW, but this one probably outside the line of off stump. Out of the over, it's 2 for 151. 24 overs completed. We're nearly halfway. And Rohit Sharma says, I'm not going to go upstairs for the review. Probably outside the line of off stump. Jihan says, surprised you're still up? I just finished work. You think this game is worth watching? I don't know, Jihan. Look, we'll see how it goes. If New Zealand lose a few wickets, then probably that's the end of the game. But I don't know. I don't know. You never know. There may be some sort of a feeling that New Zealand could do something out of the ordinary. I don't know. 2 for 151. Nearly halfway. Mitchell and Williamson developing a good partnership, over 100. I don't know. I don't know. It may have that feeling of something special. I don't know. After all, it is a semi-final. There's no tomorrow, so you have to give it a go. So New Zealand would definitely give it a go, that's for sure. I don't know, Jihan. Well, obviously, South Africa and Australia tomorrow. Is that game going to be played because of the rain? So this could be the only semi-final that we watch for the whole entire semi-finals. So we shall see how this game concludes, but India definitely in front. Jadeja in. He works it to point. Mitchell, he'll pick up an easy single. So that's all New Zealand need to do, find the gaps and get, over the required run rate of 8 and over. Devon Conway, he was out early. He was the first wicket to fall. Jadeja in. This one, Williamson hits into Jadeja's foot. And it ricochets off Jadeja's foot down to mid-on, and they'll get a single, Williamson. He moves to 48, 54 for Mitchell. Jadeja is in. Mitchell plays it out to cover, but there's no run. $245 needed of 25 overs for New Zealand. Jadeja in, and this one dispatched down the ground all the way for 6 from Kane Williams, from Daryl Mitchell, I should say. He's into the 60s, Mitchell. That one hit straight as an arrow. He's a very strong hitter of the ball, Mitchell, down the ground off the spinners. Yeah, that's a lovely shot. It's good from Mitchell, good from Williamson. Just put some sort of pressure on India for once. Everyone struggled to do that in this tournament. Jadeja in. And that one down the leg side, and Mitchell works it past short, fine leg. Shami is in pursuit, but he lets the other fielder come around and cut it off for a couple of runs. Daryl Mitchell. Couple of runs to the turtle for him. Jadeja, and this one defended by Mitchell. There's no run. It's the end of the over. 2 for 161. Good over from New Zealand. Still keeping themselves in this match. Jihad says, what did you think about the news that came out at India up to their pitch doctoring ways again, like the test series? Yeah, I did hear about that, Jihad. Well, I suppose these things get leaked, I suppose. Yeah, that was the big talking point in this final, wasn't it? In the semi-final about the pitch. Well, I suppose that's just the way it has been in cricket for a very long time. You know, we always have these discussions. So I wasn't surprised to hear the news. I don't think anyone was. But as Kuldeep continues, this one worked by Williamson down to the wide long on for a single. But yeah, that's the news to come out. So, well, the pitch has played pretty okay when India batted. They scored some runs. But we shall see at the conclusion of this match whether or not the pitch was a factor or not. But it has taken some turn a little bit. We've seen from Kuldeep and some turn from him and Jadeja. So we shall see how this game eventuates. Kuldeep is in. This one swept again by Mitchell down a fine leg. Mohammad Siraj has done a lot of work at that fine leg region. And another single for Mitchell. Semi-final number 2, South Africa and Australia from Kolkata, Eden Gardens. That's going to be a good game, you would think. Australia, South Africa history in World Cups, especially semi-finals. Kuldeep in this one full. Driven by Williamson to deep long off. He'll pick up 1. And that will bring up his half century for Kane Williamson. 50 for him off 58. Reliable Kane, always steering the ship. Captain Kane. That's always the way it goes with him. Always steering the ship. The captain. 50 off 58. He's played well. The team needs him to go on and get a big one. Get a big 100. He's doing that with Mitchell. He's on 63 at the other end. Williamson 50 off 58. 25 overs into the 26th. Kuldeep in. This one swept by Mitchell, not timed. Trapped him on the pads, but he was outside the line of off stump. And he was playing a shot, so he's not out. Dot ball as the result from that delivery. Kane Williamson, always reliable. Kane, always a reliable campaigner. Very good batter. Kuldeep in, and this one dispatched by Mitchell. Doesn't get a lot of it. One bounce to Shubman Gill at long on. He will pick up a single. He's been pretty strong with that shot down the ground. And unfortunately for India, didn't quite carry to Shubman Gill there at deep, wide, long on. A couple of bounces in front of him. Daryl Mitchell would have had his heart in his mouth, but he gets away with it. Kuldeep in. And that one spun sharply back into Williamson, who does well to get bat on that. Defends for no run. The end of the over, 2 for 165. 26 overs done. That one turned sharply from Kuldeep Yadav, well outside off stump. Jihan says, I watched the Grade Cricketer interview with Stuart Broad. Disturbingly, he sounds a bit like me. Yes, they did interview him, didn't he, for his new book, The Grade Cricketer. I interviewed Stuart Broad for his new book. So, yeah, I haven't watched the interview, but yeah, Stuart Broad, he's one of those characters of the game, I suppose. Good bowler. You know, a bit of a love-hate relationship with everyone around the world, but as Jadeja, he's bowled 6 overs, none for 40. So New Zealand have definitely put him under some sort of pressure. And that's what many teams haven't done in this World Cup. They haven't put India's bowlers under pressure. India haven't been tested. They could be tested tonight because New Zealand making a good fist of this. As you would expect, Mitchell works it out to the offside, picks up a single off Jadeja's first delivery. But New Zealand, you just want to see them do well. They've been to 2 World Cup finals and they haven't got over the line. You just want to see them do well. Jadeja in. This one defended to the offside by Williamson, and there's no run. Well, thanks everyone for staying with us. We will be back for the second semi-final, which will be later on today if you're in Australia, or tomorrow if you're in India. Jadeja in. This one up and over covers from Williamson. He'll pick up a single out there in the deep, a deep extra cover. He moves on to 51 of 61. Mitchell 65 or 62. So this partnership has progressed. The partnership at the moment is 128, which is quite handy for New Zealand. What can they do? Jadeja in. This one defended by Mitchell, and there's no run. Well, I thought New Zealand did well to keep India under 400. It's kept them in this match. If it was over 400, it would have been difficult. Jadeja in. And this one launched by Mitchell. And it's launched all the way for 6. It's hit the stand. It's hit the stand and it's bounced off the stand back into the ground. He dispatched that many a mile, Daryl Mitchell. Sheer power. And Jadeja being put under the pump. Lovely shot. Held his shape. Jadeja in. This one, an inside edge from Mitchell. He works it out to square leg for a single. End of the over. 2 for 174. Good over from New Zealand. Is there a twist and a turn in this match? I just sense that something could happen here. It's like with Glenn Maxwell the other night. You just never know. It is a semi-final. So Kuldeep, none for 33 off his 6. He's about to bowl his 7th. 27 overs have been completed in the innings. Still a long way to go. Kuldeep is in. This one swept by Mitchell. Down to fine leg. It's running fine. Siraj again will cut it off for a couple of runs. He's done a lot of work down there at fine leg, Siraj. A lot of running. Because these two have swept well, Williamson and Mitchell. Good players of spin. 74 for Mitchell off 66. Williamson 51 off 61. Partnership over 120. I think it's over 130 odd. Kuldeep is in. Reverse sweep. He gets it fine. Pass short, third man for 4. Outstanding shot from Mitchell. The sweat beating down his helmet. And 4 runs. It was a full toss from Kuldeep Yadav. Well outside off stump. Mitchell went for the reverse sweep. Played it nicely. Played it along the ground. Got it past the short third man fielder for 4 runs. Here's Kuldeep in. And Mitchell defends to the leg side for no run. Daryl Mitchell. He's been in good touch over the last few months. He's hit the biggest 6 of this World Cup, and that was the last 6 we saw that hit the stand on the full, 107 meters. That's a pretty big blow. Kuldeep is in. Mitchell defends to point. There's no run. Jihan, you say tomorrow if you're in. Not sure what you meant by that comment there, Jihan, so please do elaborate. Kuldeep in. This one defended by Mitchell, and there's no run. 2 for 180 New Zealand. They're still in this. They haven't left the run rate to drift. You just see things just starting to change a little bit. Kuldeep in, reverse sweep. He can only find the fielder at point, Mitchell. And there's no run. It's the end of the over, 2 for 180 after 28. 2 for 280, 28 overs remaining. 28 overs done, I should say. So 218 needed of 22 overs, a required run rate of 9.91 for New Zealand, which is under 10s. So a few big overs here and there. Get that required run rate down. There's certainly a chance. Bumrah is brought back into the attack. And the spinners have gone for runs. Now I understand, Jihan. Sorry. Yeah. And you said today if you're in Australia. Yeah, that's right. But if you're in Western Australia, which you are, Jihan, tomorrow for that semi-final. And if you're in India, tomorrow, obviously, because it's still yesterday. That second semi-final, Australia and South Africa from Eden Gardens, should be a very good contest. Let's hope the rain stays away, apparently. And we don't want that spoiling the party. Bumrah in. And this one dispatched to the boundary for 4 from Mitchell. He took one hand of the bat and he managed to get it to the boundary for 4. Suryakumar Yadav couldn't cut it off. And it went for 4. Virat Kohli looked confused, wondering how on earth did Suryakumar Yadav did not cut that off. Well, Daryl Mitchell, it was, excuse me. Daryl Mitchell took one hand off the bat, and it was a slow ball from Bumrah, and he didn't quite time it, but he got 4. Here we go. Bumrah is in. And this one slashed away at a point. Good fielding from Jadeja. Keeps it to a dot. He's always good in the point region there, Jadeja. And a run. Jihan says, could we witness what Khawaja and Hanscom and Turner did to India in 2019? That was an amazing game. It was, Jihan, in Mohali. It was an unbelievable game. I remember watching that game. There was Australia shouldn't have won that game, but Ashton Turner did what he did and scored that 100. It was pretty remarkable. I think there's a good possibility there, Jihan. Boomerang in. This one defended by Williamson to backward point. There's no run. Things are just starting to change a little bit. A little bit of momentum shifting. After all, it is a semi-final, and we know with India in semi-finals, they don't quite handle the pressure. Could New Zealand find a chink in the armour? What do they need? Just under 10 runs and over. A few big overs here and there. They could get it done. The partnership's 147. Could we witness some sort of great finish? We've already seen one here at the Wankhede Stadium. That was Glenn Maxwell. What a game what an innings that was. I still can't believe how Glenn did that. Boomer is in. Oh, dropped! He's dropped him! He's dropped him at mid-on! Shami's dropped him! Williamson went for the pull, and it went through Shami's hands, and he's dropped him at mid-on! Oh, dear. Oh, dear, as Bill Laurie will say. Will that be a costly drop for India? Oh, the pressure's starting to show a little bit now. Williamson didn't get it over Shami at mid-on. Oh, Shami snatched at it, and he dropped him. Oh, dear. We saw with Glenn Maxwell when he was dropped off Majib. We know how that ended. That cost Afghanistan the match. Will this cost India the match? Bumrah disappointed with that drop from his fellow fast bowler companion. Bumrah is in. This one a full toss. Mitchell just drives straight to long on comfortably for a single. It's in the over. 2 for 188. Oh, dear. Could that be a costly miss for India? This game is, I wouldn't say it's done. I think New Zealand have done well to keep in it. And that's what you just need to do. Just stay in this sort of contest. Has he dropped the World Cup, Shami? If I can use Steve Waugh. If I can use Steve Waugh's famous words to Herschel Gibbs, has he just dropped the World Cup there? Oh, dear. They need 10 runs and over, India. Look, a few big overs from New Zealand. They can easily get that required run rate down. You know, these two were in and set. I think we're in for an exciting finish to this semi-final. Oh, dear. Mohammed Shami. We've all been there. We've dropped a catch. It's not a good feeling. G. Hunt says, I was on holiday in Cairns watching that game on a giant screen, comfy seats at the casino. I thought Australia had no chance. Yeah. Then they turned things around, Jihan. You know, Ashton Turner was superb. You know, and for him, you know, I think he wasn't playing long in one-day cricket. I think he just made his debut, I think, that year or something. Or maybe the year before in 2018. So he hasn't been playing long in international cricket. And for him to do that innings in Mohali was pretty special. One of the best games that Australia have had in one-day cricket over the years. Obviously, the Afghanistan match, obviously, will ranked at the top, obviously, because of the comeback. This one short from Kuldeep and pulled by Mitchell for a single to a deep square leg. And just be the one. So the spinners haven't been effective. This is the thing with India, is that they only have 5 bowling options. And we haven't seen any effectiveness from Kuldeep or Jadeja. They've gone for runs in their overs. And they don't have any other options, India. So they're going to turn the ball to Virat Kohli like they did in the last game against the Dutch. After all, he did get a wicket. Kuldeep in. This one defended by Williamson to cover. There's no run. So that's the problem. Rohit Sharma's got a concerned look on his face. He knows the job is not done yet because the game is not done. Slog swept by Williamson for 4 to deep mid-wicket. A boundary. Hands on heads. The Indian crowd and supporters can't bear to look. It's all too dissimilar for India in knockout matches. The pressure is starting to mount a little bit. Slog swept nicely by Williamson. Picked the gap at deep mid-wicket for 4. Could he pin? This one spins sharply back into Williamson, but he does well to get it down to long on for a single. New Zealand are mounting their charge, if I can say that. Kane Williamson, 58 off 67. Daryl Mitchell, 85 off 75. The partnership is 155. This game is not over, I'm afraid. I think we would have said that a few hours ago, but as I said, in the game against Australia and Afghanistan, look what happened there. Look what Glenn Maxwell did. It's not over till it's over. Could he pin? This one reverse sweep. Beats backward point for 4. Mitchell gets a boundary. Jadeja, he's a good fielder at backward point. He couldn't cut that down. Couldn't save it. Excellent shot from Mitchell. Good improvisation. Reverse swept from him. Beats backward point Jadeja. He's a good fielder. The pressure's starting to mount a little bit now. 4 runs. Hang on. Could we see something special again? It's a semi-final. And India, all of a sudden, they were booking their tickets on the plane to Ahmedabad. I don't think they'll be booking their tickets now. I think they'll just hold on that. Job is not done yet. This one's swept by Mitchell down a fine leg for a single. He moves into the 90s. He's on 90. It's the end of the over. 2 for 199. 30 overs remaining. 20 overs remaining. Sort of like a T20 match now. First semi-final, India and New Zealand. New Zealand always have a bit of a soft spot for New Zealand. Whenever Australia's not playing, I tend to support them. I like the way they play their cricket. So I'm definitely going for New Zealand to win this game. New Zealand, they've done well to make it to 3 semi-finals on the trot in World Cups. And obviously not to win 2 of them, obviously. 2015 against Australia, 2019 against England was heartbreaking at Lords in that tied match, the boundary count back. But India, to dominate the group stage and then to fall short in the semi-final is going to be a very heartbreaking thing. New Zealand, very productive in the 21 to 30 overs period. Over 75 runs they scored. So Bumrah to continue to Mitchell. And he dispatches Bumrah. Oh, the long off for 6. He's on 96. Daryl Mitchell, he's 4 runs away from a century. My word, he hits the ball so powerfully down the ground. That's his go-to shot. You bowl it in the slot, you're going to get dispatched down the ground. Now, that's what happened there to Bumrah. He hasn't had his best night. All of a sudden, the pressure just starting to mount on India. The momentum just starting to turn. The 200 up for New Zealand. Bumrah is in. This one full, driven by Mitchell to long on for a single. He races to 97. Jihan says, do you have Kiwi blood too? No, I don't, Jihan. I just like New Zealand. I went there for a holiday in 2018, and I just fell in love with the place. I've always had a soft spot for New Zealand, but going to the country itself for a holiday, it's such a wonderful place to go and have a holiday. I went there to do a bit of skiing, see the sights in Queenstown. The only one thing I didn't do was play a game of cricket of some sort there. But no, I don't have any Kiwi in me, Jihan. But I like the country. And I like New Zealand, just the way they play their cricket. So I always tend to support New Zealand when Australia are not playing. Quick single by Williamson. There was a throw at the stumps, but well wide, and they'll make it home for the single. Oh, can New Zealand do it? They're 2 for 207. Jihan says, I went there for a holiday in 2016, the first time. I loved it too. It's such a nice country. Very nice people, very hospitable. Queenstown is such an amazing place. So it's a pretty good place to go for a holiday. It's just a shame I didn't play a game of cricket there or something. I should have. Boomerang in, this one a full toss, worked off the pads by Mitchell to a deep mid wicket. He'll pick up one. And yesterday, Jihan went there for 2 ODIs and a test too. Yeah, that was nice. Well, when I went there in, what was it? I can't remember now. But it wasn't during cricket season. It was during winter. And it was really cold. So I didn't see a game of cricket over there. But it would have been nice if I went there during the summertime. But I went there during the winter to do a bit of skiing and that. And that was a cool experience. Boomerang. This one full. Pass mid off for 4. From Williamson. He gets it to the boundary for 4. Pass mid off for 4. New Zealand will start to believe. Pressure on the face of Rohit Sharma. This game ain't done yet. As I said earlier, India were looking cozy. I don't think they're looking cozy now. I think they're a little bit tentative, a little bit worried. Well, after all, it is a semi-final. You can't discount New Zealand. They will give it a fight. They will scrap, and they will fight until the end. Bumrah in. And this one worked down to third man from Williamson for an easy single to end the 31st over. It's 2 for 100, 2 for 213, actually. This partnership looking very ominous for India. And we've seen tonight a bit of turn in the surface, but their spinners, Jadeja and Kuldeep, haven't really been effective at all. They've gone for some runs. And Rohit Sharma hasn't got many options to turn to. As I mentioned, he's only got 5 bowling options because he hasn't got Hardik Pandya, who's injured. So he can't go to another option. This game is... well, we wanted to see a good semi-final, let's be honest. You know, that's what you want to see in semi-finals. And we want to see that. We're getting that tonight. So it's not all plain sailing for India. This is the first time in this tournament that they've been tested. And New Zealand are finally putting some pressure on New Zealand. New Zealand putting some pressure on India for the first time in this tournament. No one else has been able to do that. No one else has been able to put pressure on Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav or Bumrah. Shami's been exceptional, but just India just starting to just feel the pressure a little bit. And there's no dew either. There's no dew, so that's the thing. Drinks here at the Wankhede. Jihan says, I saw Australia get hammered at Eden Park. Then they came back at Wellington, Zampa, and the Duke bowled well. Then went to the test at the Basin Reserve. Yeah, that's right. The ODI series, yes. Australia lost that series. They lost that series 2-1. New Zealand won that series 2-1. We won the test series, of course. We won that. As well. And that's where Brendan McCullum scored the fastest ever test century at the time in 2016. So, yes, the Duke, John Hastings, yeah. Yeah, 2016. It's not a long time ago. It's more than 7 years ago now. That's time flies. But yes, Australia lost that series 2-1 in the end. I do remember that series. It wasn't the best. But then in the test series, we did well to win that. Adam Voges made a good score, 200, in the first test. And he was bowled off a no ball and wasn't called. And it started all that debate about the third umpire calling no balls. It stemmed from that, really. Yes. And obviously Australia go back to New Zealand next year, actually. A couple of test matches in February, some T20s, and then that's about it. Yeah, 3 T20s and 2 test matches. That's what we tend to do against New Zealand. We tend to play, Australia and New Zealand, they tend to play 2 or 3 test matches. I think back in the day, that was the case as well. There should be more against New Zealand, maybe 3 or 4. That's just the way it is in cricket these days, that you play 2 test matches, which don't really constitute a series, really. But anyway, Jadeja is going to start after drinks. He's been expensive tonight. None for 49 off 7. This pitch has taken turn. We've seen in the second innings, without any dew, it has spun sharply at times, but they just haven't been effective. It's just Williamson and Mitchell have played them well. They're good players to spin. They've used their feet and they've put them under pressure that by hitting a boundary in the over. They've swept them well. They've reverse swept. So Jadeja hasn't been really effective at all. And same with Kuldeep Yadav. And this is where, a lot of the teams in this World Cup haven't been able to really test India under pressure. Jadeja is in. And this one worked past the fielder at cover. The sweeper, Bumrah, will come around and cut it off just for the single. Jihan says, pretty sure I watched Steve Smith and Voges bat most of the day. Yeah, they did. They had a pretty good partnership, they did. Big partnership. I think Steve Smith scored 100 as well. And that series, Josh Hazlewood had a few words to say to the third umpire. If we remember the DRS there, he wasn't too happy about the third umpire's decision in one of the test matches. I can't remember. I think it was the second test, I think. That one defended by Mitchell, dot ball. Jadeja in. And this one again defended by Mitchell. Back to Jadeja for a dot ball. He's on 98 off 82. Mitchell will be a good 100, but he knows the job is not done yet as we enter the final stages of this semi-final. Jadeja in. This one turned sharply past the outside edge. Through the keeper, no run. Mitchell did well just to play the line. He didn't go searching for it. He just played the line of the ball and let it spin. Didn't play against the turn. Jadeja in. Mitchell backs away to leg stump. He works it through to deep cover. He'll pick up a single. 99 for him. Is there a twist and a turn in this semi-final? Here we go, Jadeja in. And this one pulled for 4 from Kane Williamson. It was short from Jadeja and he pulled it away to the long on boundary for 4. And that's a brilliant way to end the over. End of the over, 2 for 219. New Zealand are coming back in this semi-final. They're fighters. They're fighting back in this match. And the run rate is under 10 required, 9.94. Current run rate is 6.84. They've just done well to match the required run rate. And Mohammad Shami is back into the attack. He bowled well up front, 2 for 26 from his 4, and then he dropped a catch. And it was Kane Williamson too. India, for the first time, looking a little bit flustered. Not everything going their own way for a change. And the concern for India is they've only got 5 options. Kuldeep and Jadeja have got 2 overs left. Where do they turn to after that? Do they go back to, well, they've gone back to Shami. Will they go back to Bumrah? Will they go back to Siraj? They'll back them. But if they go for runs, I think Rohit Sharma may have to go to somewhere else. Shami is in. He works it to the leg side. He'll pick up the single to reach his 100. Daryl Mitchell, 100 of 85. He acknowledges the crowd. He acknowledges the dressing room. The New Zealand supporters are up and about, waving the flags. The job is not done yet. He's got to be there at the end. But it's been a good knock from him. Well played, Daryl Mitchell. 100 for him. Second 100 in this World Cup. He got one against India. And that was in Dharamshala early in the group stage. And now he's got one here in the semi-final. Well played, Daryl Mitchell. Kane Williamson on 69 of 72. Mitchell 100 of 85. The partnership well over 150. Shami's in to Williamson. And Williamson flicks him long and high into the leg side. And he's out caught. He's out caught on the boundary rope. Williamson went for the big flick. And he's held out to the man at deep square leg. He's got to go. He can't believe it, Williamson. He thought he had enough on it to hit it over the rope for 6, but the fielder did well to catch it inside the rope. And Mohammad Shami, who dropped Kane Williamson, has now got him out. And he's got to go, Kane. It's a good catch from Suryakumar Yadav. Shami celebrates. Williamson can't believe it. India pick up the key wicket that they needed. The partnership was a good one from New Zealand. Williamson gone for 69. It's 3 for 220 as Tom Latham arrives to the crease. And Daryl Mitchell, obviously the key for New Zealand to get these runs. But Williamson went for that shot, went for the flick. He didn't time it well enough, didn't hit it over the fielder at that deep square leg region. And he will be very disappointed, Williamson, as he walked off. He was. But it was a good partnership nonetheless. Well over 150 odd. It's just kept New Zealand in this game as Tom Latham arrives. And he'll just provide a support role for Mitchell. Mitchell is the key. 181, that partnership between Mitchell and Williamson came to an end. Mohammad Shami dropped Williamson. He got him out. So he's picked up his third wicket, Shami. He's been pretty economical. But still not done yet, this game. Still plenty of things can happen in the next few overs. But, yeah, in the end, he caught it inside the rope. Jihan says, game over now. Well, as long as Mitchell's out there, Jihan, I think the game is still in, New Zealand can definitely win. Mitchell's got to make a big score like Glenn Maxwell did. So I wouldn't say it's over yet. That partnership has kept them in this game, New Zealand. So, anything could happen. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But there's still a long way to go. There's still 17 overs after this. The run rate's 10 and over. So New Zealand will have to be careful about that. They don't want to let it to go out. Shami in. And this one traps Latham on the pads. He's been given. He's gone for a duck. Shami's got the fourth. That could be the game turning right there. It could be. He's picked up Latham. That one came back in, trapped him on the crease, hit him on the pads, and Latham's got to go. He's not reviewing that. That was plum. Shami's picked up 2 wickets in the over. That's the changing the momentum in this game. Let's have a look at the replay. Yep, that one just coming back in on the angle. Trapping Latham on the pads. And that is the end of Tom Latham. He didn't stay there for long. He's gone for a duck. And New Zealand are 4 for 220. And Shami picks up his 50th wicket in Cricket World Cup history. And New Zealand 4 for 220. That's not ideal, losing 2 wickets in 1 over. They've lost Williamson, which was the big one in that partnership. They've lost now Latham. Mark Chapman will have to come out and see what he can do. Jihan's a small ground, can probably score 10 runs to 12 per over in the last 10 overs, but wickets in hand will be the key. Yes, that's right, Jihan. Glenn Phillips comes to the middle. And we know he can hit the ball pretty big. Partnership required from him with Mitchell, who's the key. Daryl Mitchell's the key. He's the one who's got to do it for New Zealand. But Mohammad Shami, as he's done in this World Cup, comes on, bowls. He picks up 2 wickets in 1 over, which he has done here. So that's probably spun the game back into India's favour. But that partnership that Williamson and Mitchell had certainly kept New Zealand in this. Shami, and this one chopped down by Phillips, nearly chopped it onto the stumps. In the end, it's a dot ball. It's been a good over from Shami, much needed over from India. For a moment there, it looked a little bit nerve-wracking in terms of that partnership between Williamson and Mitchell. It looked comfortable. Williamson picked out Suryakumar Yadav for deep square leg, and then Latham was trapped in front. LBW lost his balance, just playing around that one, which hit the top of leg stump of Shami. Understandable for a new batter that's just arrived at the crease. Shami's in. This one defended by Phillips. Only to the fielder at point, and there's no run. It's the end of the over. 4 for 220. So in the matter of 1 over, 2 wickets have been taken by Shami, and this game has turned on its head. But Daryl Mitchell is still out there, so New Zealand, there is hope with Mitchell out there. He's on 100. And nothing for New Zealand to lose, really. Semi-final, you lose, so be it. But if you give it a good go, then I suppose it's okay. As India celebrate. Jadeja in. This one turning away from Mitchell, but he does well to play it out to deep point, and he'll pick up a single. He's the key. Glenn Phillips hasn't really done much in this World Cup, Glenn Phillips. He'll be hoping for a good contribution here if he can. And New Zealand will need his hitting abilities here if they are going to win this match and go through to the final on Sunday. But India fighting back. Jadeja in. This one turning away from Phillips, who defends to the offside. There's no run. Jadeja in. This one down the leg side. Hits Phillips on the pads to short fine leg, and there's no run. Obviously, the loss of wicket will just increase that run rate ever so slightly. Required run rate for New Zealand. Jadeja in. And this one played back on the back foot by Phillips. Defends, and there's no run. So that run rate just creeped up to 10. 10.83. So I think for Glenn Phillips, it's all about just getting off strike, giving it over to Mitchell. How New Zealand would like a Glenn Maxwell here. Jadeja in, and this one again defended by Phillips. There's no run. Well, obviously, New Zealand, they would like Daryl Mitchell to play an innings like Glenn Maxwell. And if he does that, well, New Zealand win, essentially, if they do that. But we shall see. Getting towards the end of this game. Jadeja in. This one defended by by Phillips for no run. It's the end of the over. 4 for 221. 34 overs completed. Not far away from the end of this first semi-final. That required run rate just gone over 11. Glenn Phillips obviously taking his time. Obviously, the wickets didn't help there for New Zealand. That's probably the turning point. You would think key moment in this game. Shami's spell there to remove Williamson and Latham 1 over. Just where New Zealand were just starting to mount a bit of a comeback. All of a sudden, those 2 wickets haven't really helped. 4 for 221, 34 overs. Daryl Mitchell getting some treatment. Shami will come back to bowl his 6. He's got 4 for 27. Well, India fighting back. The wickets to fall. Conway, then Ravinder, then Williamson, and then Latham, the last one to fall. Plum in front, LBW. Just falling away there, losing his balance. And Shami with the wicket. And he's getting some treatment as well. Right, I think we're good to go. 34 overs done. 4 for 221, New Zealand. What can they do? Daryl Mitchell player, Glenn Maxwell type innings. And 177 of 96. The required run rate is 11 and over. 6.5 is the current run rate. So they'll need to get a little bit of a move on if they want to get that required run rate under control. But as we know with New Zealand, they'll keep trying. They'll keep giving it a good go. They won't give up easily. I think we know that from New Zealand. Here's Shami in. This one defended by Mitchell. There's no run. 101 off 86, 87 for him. And India fighting back after a dominant display in this game. That partnership, Mitchell-Williamson, looking dangerous. And then Shami came in, got those 2 wickets. India fighting back. This one pulled by Mitchell, only to a deep square leg for 1. He moves on to 102 and obviously battling with some sort of cramp. It's hot out there, but he's doing a good job for New Zealand and for the team. And he's got to do something here, Glenn Phillips. We know his ability. He can hit a long ball. That required run rate's out to 11. Once it gets out to 12, then you can... it's a little bit difficult once it gets to 12. So if New Zealand can keep it to 11 or 10, it's manageable, you would think. Phillips in. That one worked off the leg, off the pads, and he'll pick up a single. Glenn Phillips. And he's off the mark. Shami, how often has he done it in this World Cup? Couple of wickets to change the tide of the game. Gihan says, can't see New Zealand doing this now. 175 of 93. It's a tough order. It's 11.5. 11.29, the required run rate. But we know with New Zealand, they'll give it a go. Shami in. This one a swing and a miss by Mitchell. Through the keeper, no run. Yeah, I don't know how that didn't bowl him. Nearly cleaned him up in the end. Let's have a look. That's a slow ball from Shami and just missing the stumps, just going over the top. Well, India is 2023 their year. They've gone undefeated to this stage. Shami in. This one driven to long on for a single. And he moves on to 103 off 90. It's just that required rate, nearly 11.5. So they got to find some big overs, New Zealand. Giannis, this is why I find New Zealand overrated instead of underrated these days. Surely they can find a better batsman than Latham, a shuffly left-hander. Yes, that was his undoing there a little bit, just shuffling across his stumps and got trapped in front. Just playing around that. Lost his balance as well. Shami's in. This one full driven to cover only by Phillips to end the over. Dot ball to finish the end of the over. 4 for 224. Not a bad over from India. Not an over that New Zealand needed, and they need to have big overs. 11.6 is required. So they need to go big. $174 of 90 required for New Zealand to win. Darryl Mitchell just getting some treatment again for his cramp or something of some sort. It's all been Shami, who's taken the wickets. Jadeja in. This one's swept by Mitchell, but it was outside the line of off stump. There was an appeal for LBW turned down, but probably going to go upstairs, New Zealand, I think. They are. India going upstairs. Could be outside the line. Gian says, I was a bit disappointed by CFA's video on Maxwell's innings. It was supposed to be a reaction video, but they reacted to about 1 minute of a 7-minute video, just kept skipping through without listening. Yes, so Gianna Nick just went on a rant disagreeing with most cricket pundits. It can get a bit embarrassing when he does stuff like that. Gabe remained less vocal for once. And that one, a quick single from Mitchell. He's battling cramp. Yeah, I did watch that video, Jihan. Yeah. I don't know what to make of the video that Nick and Gabe did. I suppose that's just their view on it. Whether or not they, just about the whole, was Maxwell's innings the greatest of all time? I think it was the great innings certainly the great innings from an Australian batter in one-day cricket. But I think they took exception to being classed as the greatest innings of all time in all of cricket. But if we just put it into categories, Maxwell's innings is certainly one of the most one-of-a-kind innings you'll see in one-day cricket. In Test cricket, there was quite a few great innings. T20 cricket as well. So I think they just didn't agree with, people just saying it was the greatest of all time and saying all that stuff. People have their own opinions about Maxwell's innings, saying it was the great innings they saw in one-day cricket or the great innings that an Australian played. But pretty much how I will sum up Maxwell's innings was probably the greatest innings that I've seen in terms of an Australian player in one-day cricket, because it was. Obviously, it's very hard to say it was the greatest innings of all time because we've had 3 different formats of the game, and it's very different. Jihan says they didn't get why Lara and Steve Waugh's test innings were dismissed, but they didn't get the context. Lara's was in a dead rubber on a featherbed pitch, and they couldn't win the test. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was just a flat pitch in that test, and Lara was able to get 400. It was a great innings, but it was it didn't really help West Indies win the game. And yes, to say Gian, and Steve Waugh's was just to extend his career a bit, and they lost that test, so it doesn't have that context. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Steve Waugh was coming towards the end of his career in that Ashes test, and really that just prolonged his career for another year. Because if he didn't score runs in that test, he would have been dropped. So I suppose, Jihan, Nick and Gabe haven't been watching cricket for long, and they obviously don't know the background of certain innings or certain performances from individuals. So I can understand why they must have misinterpreted the situation. But at the end of the day, I think, look, people are gonna say what they think about the innings and say whether it was the great innings they've seen or whatever. You can't really control what people say. So I think it's just a little bit a lost cause trying to argue that sort of point. The media and many cricket fans will think otherwise about the sort of performances. But context, yes, match situation. Glenn Maxwell's was, Australia was 7 for 91. You just don't win from that. And he just played one hell of an innings, which was a rarity. It will probably never happen again. Yes, to say, Jihan, in terms of a great innings, in run chases, Michael Bevan's 185 not out was great, but had no chance. Sorry, but had no context whatsoever because it was an exhibition game, yes. And that one's 4 from Phillips. Cuts away nicely for a backward point for a boundary. Much needed one for New Zealand. And yes, to say, Jihan, Steve Waugh's 100 against South Africa at Headingley also stands out for me. Yes, it does, because Australia won that game. This one worked to the offside by Phillips, a single. Yeah, every innings different in cricket. Every innings is very different. And they all have different characteristics and different, people will say it's probably, it wasn't the great, what makes a good innings? What are the factors and parameters to make it a good innings? What are the classifications? That's the question I will ask. You don't know until the innings has been played, then you can judge. It's the end of the over. Quick single there from New Zealand. It's the end of the over. 4 for 231. But yes, Steve Waugh, yes, that innings was critical in that game. It, helped Australia qualify for the final, essentially. So New Zealand 4 for 231. 167 off 84 is the equation. 36 overs done. Jihan says, I actually placed Lara's 213 at Jamaica and 153 not out at Barbados. Greatest innings than the 400. Jihan says, the double 100 for all-round class, but the 153 for the pressure of doing it in a run chase, batting with the tail. That's right. Obviously, Brian Lara himself said, my 400 wasn't the best innings I played. He said the 153 against Australia 99 was my best innings because it was in a run chase. And the West Indies won the test, but they didn't win the series. So, and also, I don't think people will dismiss the great innings. I think if you are a great observer of the game and cherish the game's history, of course you won't dismiss the great innings or, great performances from batters or bowlers in the game's history. I don't think anyone's disrespecting that, but as it's just the way it is. Whenever it's always the case in cricket, whenever someone does something amazing, we always have these discussions. But to finish off about Glenn Maxwell, it's probably one of the best innings that an Australian batter in one-day cricket's ever played, hands down. No one else has come close to it. So I think if you just say in different categories and different, just because the game has 3 different formats. So if you just say it's one of the great innings in one-day cricket, then I think that's what you should have, should break it down into. But I suppose Nick and Gabe see it differently, and that's fine. That one defended to the offside, and there's no run. New Zealand, that run rate's just gone over 12. They need to get a bit of a move on if they want to do something here. Siraj in. This one full and driven by Mitchell, but only straight to extra cover, and there's no run. Just finding it hard to find the gaps. Hunt says, so I think probably if Maxwell's innings was against a top 8 team, it would have been recognised even more. Yeah, that's the thing. You can only play what's against you. You can only play what's in front of you. And obviously, Maxwell did what he did. It's just, I'm still speechless. I can't believe what he did. No one can. Hunt says, I think if you list them by improbability of achieving, Maxwell's has to be number 1. Yes, and it will have to be number 1 because Australia was 7 for 91, and you just don't win from there. And he just scored 200 off his own bat. With some help from Pat Cummins, of course, 12 runs. This one, a swing and a miss by Mitchell for the keeper, no run. Well, semi-final number 2 is tomorrow, and we will be back for semi-final number 2. And that will be South Africa and Australia from Eden Gardens in Kolkata. That should be a good game. Let's hope the weather stays away a little bit. Apparently there's some rain forecast, and let's hope it stays away so we can have a good game of cricket. Jihan says, that's why they kept going on about recency bias. I said no one's ever done that in previous generations. No, I don't think any of the great players would do that sort of innings like Maxwell did. And you're right, it hasn't been done before by anyone else because you just need, it's just one of those skills that many people don't have. This one, a single worked out to a deep point by Mitchell. Jihan says, I'm pretty sure Capaldi's 100 against Zimbabwe was batting first, and same with Vib's 189. Not out. They were batting first. Obviously, India and the West Indies were in trouble in those games. And those innings were good performances. So that's the thing, different context, different eras, different sort of players, different situation. And everyone will make their own mind up, whether or not they would think this is one of the great innings or not. I think it's just the way people see it and the way that they judge these things. Siraj is in this one, full, driven by Phillips to a cover, and there's a couple of runs. Jihan says, there's nothing like watching an improbable run chase panning out in one-day cricket. Some of the most exciting games I've seen. Yeah, that's right. When teams come back and they come back from nowhere and they win, Glenn Maxwell's innings, games that we've seen in the past that have done that as well. It's pretty good to see. Jihan says way more when it happens in T20. You almost expect it in T20. Yeah, that's different as well. T20 as well. So that's the thing. And Jihan says, remember James Faulkner's innings against England? Yes, I do, Jihan. Yeah, just like yesterday. It was an unbelievable innings from James Faulkner. Obviously, one of the forgotten cricketers in Australian cricket over the years. Who can remember? He was player of the match in the World Cup final in 2015. And then after that, he just sort of disappeared on the face of the earth. That one, a single down the ground from Phillips, end of the over, 4 for 236. So, yeah, it's that format, one-day cricket, where magical things can happen. And we saw that with Glenn Maxwell the other night and here in Mumbai at this very ground. So, yeah. India are on track again. They were a little bit under pressure when Williamson and Mitchell were going well in that partnership. But now, all of a sudden, they took those 2 wickets because of Shami, and that one over, got rid of Latham and obviously Williamson. This game has swung back in their favour. Jihan says, that's why I hope they don't get rid of one-day cricket. So many great memories and moments. I don't remember much T20 at all, no. Well, that's the thing. After this World Cup, Australia play 5 T20s against India. And I'm pretty sure both teams will not have their full-strength sides because after the World Cup, both teams will rest their players. And that's pretty much a meaningless series, really. T20 World Cup's next year, but I suppose it's a good opportunity for Australia to try out new players again, like they did in South Africa. That one, a single by Phillips to the offside, and he'll give the strike back to Mitchell. Well, I think we can say that India are pretty much in control and pretty much going to book a place in the final on Sunday. Who will they play? That's a question for the second semi-final, either South Africa or Australia. But for those who don't know, if it does rain, there is rain forecast, and South Africa will go through. Those are the playing conditions. Those are the rules. So nothing we can do about it. Shami and this one full and played off to mid-off for a single. Mitchell, 107 for him. Jihan says, great cricketer, guys. Keep joking that T20 series is the most important one of the year. Well, not really. You just had a T20. Yeah, sorry. You just had a one-day World Cup, and then you play 5 T20s after it. Like, I don't know why Steve Smith and David Warner are in that squad. I thought they would have had enough, obviously being tired from this tournament, obviously. But that's just the way it is in cricket. It's the schedule. Cricket. So, I won't be surprised if India rests their players. Probably no Rohit Sharma, no Kohli. What's the point? It's just a pointless T20 series that doesn't really matter if anyone wins or loses. Just after a T20, if India go on to win this World Cup, I don't think they'll care about winning the series at all. And this one smashed down the ground by Mitchell for 6. And he's launched that again down the ground for another maximum. Daryl Mitchell is still believing. That's another good shot from him. Straight back down the ground for 6. Outstanding shot from Daryl Mitchell. 89 metres, 6 runs. Jihan says, this T20 series against India is more important than the World Cup, the Ashes, the Test series in India, the big one. I think many people would say otherwise. Nice shot there from Daryl Mitchell. 153 off 74. It's sort of like a T20 sort of situation. You never know. Can he do it, Mitchell? Shami is in. And this one driven straight back to the stumps at the non-striker's end. And Mitchell disappointed that he missed out on a boundary. Dot ball. Oh, the stumps. The extra fielder for India, the 12th man. Yeah, the stumps there. Jihan says, really surprised Warner and Smith and Warner are staying for it. Yeah, I'm surprised as well. I thought they would have just had a rest before the summer. But I suppose, I don't know. Shami in. This one pulled by Mitchell to short fine leg for a dot ball. It's the end of the over. 4 for 245. Jihan says maybe they think they need practice for next year. Probably. The T20 World Cup's not until June, July. So there's a few months away. Look, probably prepare them for the summer. I think it's going to be, a big couple of months, a few months in the summer. Here in Australia, you've got Pakistan, obviously, and West Indies. You've got a test series in New Zealand. So, after a big tournament like this and a World Cup playing, playing nine games plus a semi-final, maybe a final, you would think a rest is needed. These days, look at England. Playing a lot of cricket themselves, so everyone's just playing a lot of cricket. So you just need opportunities just to rest and recuperate because you don't really have a long window for that. Siraj is back, none for 39 from his 6. He's been expensive. Hasn't taken a wicket today, so is there still hope for New Zealand? Well, as long as Daryl Mitchell is there, you never know. You can never write off New Zealand. They'll put in a good performance. They'll give it a go. They'll give it a fight. Siraj is in. This one outside edge, just falling short of short third man. And there's no run. Kuldeep Yadav was there. Wasn't able to connect with the catch. Just falling short in the end, just bounced. So look. Did it bounce? Yes, it did bounce. Just bouncing. Right there. Siraj in. This one, an outside edge, beats short third man for 4. Boundary for Glenn Phillips. So there is still hope for New Zealand. That's a nice shot there from Phillips off the outside edge, beats short third man for 4. Jihan says, what did you think of the English pundits event? Excuses. Yeah, well, I suppose, when you're not doing well, I suppose you pick out excuses or things to schedule or all that. I think at the end of the day, England just didn't play well. They started to play well towards the back end of the tournament. They had some good wins against the Netherlands and Pakistan. They could have done better, England. But, yeah, I think at the end of the day, it was just, just didn't play well, just didn't click. Butler didn't have a great tournament as captain. Matthew Mott, under pressure as coach. Rob Key, under pressure for his decisions. So I think England just made poor decisions and they just didn't really plan enough for this World Cup, really. People in England just blaming the schedule and all that stuff, the 100 and county cricket and the domestic one-day competition, all that structural stuff in England. So I think at the end of the day, it's just poor planning, poor management, and the players just didn't turn up. And I think that's the obvious thing. That's why they didn't qualify for the semis. So, and also their team's coming towards an end, you would think, with the era that they had, trying to rejuvenate ahead of the next World Cup in 4 years' time. Siraj in, and this one sliced away by Mitchell, through point for 4. And New Zealand still believe there's some hope. They're picking up some boundaries here and there. G. Hunt's Rob Key lapped it up when they were winning in Test cricket, now making up a lot of excuses. I did listen to his interview, Rob Key. He had a chat with Michael Atherton. I listened to that, and he mentioned a few things. I think it just comes down to poor management and decision-making at the end of the day. G. Hunt says, Morgan's reaction has been funny when I was captain. Yeah, a lot of people say he should be coach. I don't think he wants to do it, though. Siraj in, this one full, driven to mid-off, quick single. Oh, nearly direct hit. He would have been gone. But he makes it home, Mitchell, for 1. And G. Hunt says, yeah, I saw the same interview. Yeah. He had some interesting words to say. Well, 143 off 67 for New Zealand. They're 4 for 255. And Siraj, none for 49 from his 7 overs, about to complete it. He's in now to Phillips. This one short, wide, outside off stump. Phillips works it to deep cover. He'll pick up 3 runs. No, will he pick up a couple? He'll pick up a couple. It was an overthrow, I think. Ricochet off the stumps, I think. I saw the stumps flashing. End of the over, 4 for 257. 11 overs remaining in this second semi-final. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Obviously, we will be back for the second semi-final tomorrow. Fingers crossed that the rain holds. Otherwise, South Africa will go through because they finished higher than Australia on the table. So, well, let's hope the rain doesn't play spoil sport. But judging by the forecast and what people have said, it doesn't look good. And oh well, these things happen. And if you're an Australian supporter, of course you'd be disappointed. But I think many people just say, well, if that's the case, then that's just the way it is, I suppose. It's nothing that Australia can do or the players can do about it. It's the playing conditions that the ICC set out. So we'll have to wait and see over the next couple of days in Kolkata for that second semi-final. Let's hope we get a game of some sort. Just any sort of game, really. Shami in. This one on leg stump, and Mitchell works it to deep mid-wicket. He'll pick up a single. 4 for 258, 140 off 65. So New Zealand need a big over or 2 here to go over for 20 or something. As with Daryl Mitchell still out there, you just never know. Could be an opportunity here and there. Shami has done pretty well. 4 for 40 from his 7.1 overs. 140 off 65. It's pretty good. It's been, well, obviously he's taken all the 4 wickets for India in this innings. No one else has contributed. Shami is in. This one, a swing and a miss by Phillips through to the keeper, no run. $18 of 21, Phillips, 119 for Daryl Mitchell. That one not far away from the inside edge, not far away from the bat. Big swing and a miss there from Phillips. You know, the Indian bowlers, you associate them with all of them taking wickets, but it's all been Shami today. He's taken all 4 wickets. No wickets for the other bowlers, which is a rarity from India in this World Cup. Phillips in, he slashes this to a deep point. He'll just pick up a single through the hands of that. Just the one. Jihan says, what's the forecast for tomorrow? I don't know, Jihan, but what I've heard, it doesn't look good. Apparently there's a big storm brewing. And, you know, we've been lucky in this World Cup with the weather. We only had one game that was affected by weather. That was Pakistan, New Zealand. So let's fingers crossed. Let's hope for that. But, you know, at the end of the day, if it does get rained off, he'll be, first of all, be disappointed because we want to see a game. But I suppose for South Africa, you know, gives them an opportunity to try and win a World Cup event, you know. It would be nice for someone different to win, I suppose. But we will see, you know. That's over the next 2 days, but fingers crossed. Let's hope for the best. Shami in. And Mitchell laps this. He laps it over fine leg for 6. He worked his way across to off stump and just got inside the line and lapped it over fine leg for 6. Much needed from New Zealand. And that was a clever shot from Daryl Mitchell. Yep, he knew where Shami's going to bowl that ball on the stumps. And then he just helped it on its way, just guided the bat nicely. It was a very, very good shot from Daryl Mitchell. 6 runs. There's still hope for New Zealand. With Mitchell out there, you never know. Shami in. And this one pulled by Mitchell. But only straight to Siraj, a deep backward square leg for a single. Not a bad over from New Zealand. It's 4 for 266. 10 overs remaining. What can they do in 10 overs? Can they do it? Well, we'll find out. Jihan says, risky shot. Well, I think you've got to be taking some risks here, Jihan. I think, you know, it was at the end of the day, it paid off. He got 6 runs. It was a risky shot. He could have been bowled. He did expose his stumps, but it was a good shot in the end. You know, he's just made 100, so he's seen the ball well. Yeah, if he missed that, he would have been bowled. Just have a look at that replay there. I suppose good batting, I suppose, just to find ways of scoring runs over fine leg. It's 132 of 60. New Zealand need, off the 10 overs remaining, you look at that, you say, oh, it's you know, it's sort of like that in a T20 match. You have a few good overs, then you can peg it back. So Daryl Mitchell at the crease, New Zealand still have a chance. We've seen funny things happen. We always see funny things happen in cricket. It's a funny game, as we know. We've seen some weird stuff happen. We saw with Glenn Maxwell the other night. We talked about it earlier. I still can't believe how he did it. My voice hasn't really recovered from that. It's still recovering. I don't want to single down to mid-off by Mitchell. 4 for 267 New Zealand. 131 of 59 required. Off the last 10. Can they do it? Can they get the job done? Let's see. Siraj, no wickets for him, none for 52. So New Zealand need a couple of really big overs here, 30 plus, maybe 20 plus. Here we go. Siraj in. This one wide of Phillips, who plays at it. Through to the keeper, but it's called a wide. Extra one, extra delivery for New Zealand. So we're reaching the climax of this game. Last 10 overs. Where will it take us? Can New Zealand get over the line from somewhere? Siraj in, this one up and over the rope for 6. Glenn Phillips has dispatched it up and over the rope for 6. Over that fine leg, over that third man region. 4 for 274, Glenn Phillips. He hasn't had the greatest of World Cups with the bat, but can he save his best innings for the semi-final? That's gone many a mile. Well, there's still a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. 124 off 58. It can change quickly, as we know in this game. A couple of big overs here and there. Siraj is in. This one a full toss and dispatched down the ground. Over long off for 6. Glenn Phillips, he's starting to tee off in this over. Already the over is expensive. It's 118 off 57. Things starting to change a little bit in this over. It was it was a cross seamer from Siraj. It was a full toss and it asked to be hit. And it was hit by Glenn Phillips over the rope for a maximum. Game is not done. There's still a lot of cricket to be played. Jihan says we need more of this. Yes, well, this is the over. You would think Siraj can go for some runs. Already 12, 13, 14 off the over. So they've already gotten over the required run rate. This partnership is 60 or 49. Glenn Phillips, 31 of the 60 runs, 27 to Daryl Mitchell. Everyone on the edge of their seat. This game ain't over yet. This one a full toss and it's a wide. Oh, that was a poor delivery from Siraj. It's a wide. Umpire Richard Illingworth signals wide. Oh dear, this is not the over that Rohit Sharma was hoping from Siraj. This could be the over that could change the momentum. Just little things. One over can change the momentum of a match. We all know that in cricket. One over, one ball, one shot. Already 12, 13, 14, 15 off the over. And there's still 3 legal deliveries left. Siraj in. And this one sliced away through backward point for 4 from Phillips. Oh, the over's just gone from bad to worse for Siraj. It's been an expensive over. It's now 113 off 56. 4 for 285. You're telling me there's a chance? There could be a chance. You never know. That's 4 runs. So you're telling me there's a chance. Oh, this has been good from Phillips. He's come in and has hit 35 off 25. 127 off 108 for Mitchell. Siraj has gone for plenty in this over. It's been expensive. None for 70, and he's nearly completed his 8 for 2 balls left. A single, a wide, a 6, wide 4. Siraj in this one, an inside edge, nearly chopped on to the stumps, but he gets away with Mitchell, and it's a dot ball. Jihan says, what you need is 2, 3 overs that go for 20 each. That's right. Jihan says, take it deep. Anything can happen. That's right, Jihan. We saw that with Glenn Maxwell. He took it deep. He finished it in 1 over. Just watching back, watching the highlights of that innings, how on earth he didn't move his feet, I don't know. It was pretty amazing striking, but that's right, Jihan. Take it deep. Anything could happen. That's what New Zealand are doing. This one cut away through backward point. Good fielding. from Shubman Gill down there at the third man region. It was cut away nicely by Phillips, but only a single in the end, but still an expensive over for India. It's 4 for 286. 9 overs remaining. Look, anything can happen. As Jihan says, take it deep. Anything could happen. And it's a semi-final. Pressure. An expensive over from Siraj. It was 20 runs off the over. And New Zealand need 112 for 54. They're taking it deep. Glenn Phillips has arrived. He started a bit slow, Glenn Phillips, but he's gotten into his groove and he's 36 of 27. It's tight on the comparison. India were 1 for 291 after 41 overs, and now New Zealand are 4 for 286. So very close on the comparisons on the worms. India did have a good finish. You expect semi-finals to go down to the wire of some sort. Let's hope they can. Let's just hope for a good game. That's all we want. Kuldeep is in. This one worked by Phillips, but to mid-wicket, no run. Dot ball. Jihan says, I can still remember when Chris Cairns took away the Champions Trophy final in 2000. I didn't see that happening. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, New Zealand winning the Champions Trophy. Well, back then it was called the Knockout Trophy. And that one defended by Phillips to cover, no run. Yeah, so anything could happen, as we know. Cricket's a funny game. You know, you feel like 112 or 52 is a bit of a stretch, but with the modern day game of T20 cricket, anything's achievable. We can't write anything off. And we can't. And New Zealand, they're always a team that fights. It's always been in their DNA. Kuldeep in. This one worked by Phillips to a deep cover for a single. So 111 off 51. Everyone on the edge of their seat. This semi-final. The ebbs and flows of one-day cricket. And Jihan says India were favourites. It was in Kenya. Yeah, it was in Kenya, yeah. Promoting the sport in those countries. Kuldeep in. This one, playing a miss by Mitchell. Try to sweep through to the keeper and a run. 111 off 50 required. So good over from Kuldeep, just pegging it back after the expensive over of Siraj. But he's still got 2 balls left and they can still go for some runs. Kuldeep in. And this one, a swing and a miss by Mitchell. He tried to go big down the ground. In the end, through to the keeper, no run. Well, eventually India won the Champions Trophy. They shared it with Sri Lanka. The final was washed out and they shared the trophy. And that was after that 2000 Champions Trophy. This one swept, paddled by Mitchell down a fine leg. He'll pick up a single. 4 for 228 at the end of the 42nd over. 8 overs remain. The semi-final going down to the last few overs. 110 of 48. So New Zealand taking it deep if they can get another expensive over off Bumrah. He's going to come back. He's going for some runs. So Siraj, he went for plenty in the last over. Understandable that Rohit Sharma's not going back to him. Good over from Siraj. Good over from Kuldeep Yadav. Just the 2 from it. Now, he's off the ground, Siraj. He's having a chat to the bowling staff, bowling coach, about that last over, about the plans. Jihan says, it's sad what's happened to Sri Lankan cricket. Pretty average team these days. Yeah, they are, Jihan. Pretty sad. They didn't have a great World Cup. I think many people expected that sort of performance. They did well to qualify. Just wasn't able to put it out in the park, unfortunately. So that's a shame, but I suppose that you can say the same about the West Indies as well. And just Just not their best time of it. But hopefully they can come back to some sort of their best. Bumrah in. This one full, driven straight back down the ground by Mitchell. Long off will cut it off for a single. They come back for two. Well, now then. A lot of things happen on that ball. So in the end, they ran a single. I think it was a ricochet off the stumps, and they wanted to go for the second run, New Zealand, but they didn't in the end. It was only a single. Every run counts in this stage of the match. Jihan says, there was a time they used to dominate India and Pakistan, won the Asia Cup regularly, won the Asian Test Championship. Yeah, but sadly not anymore. Just not at their best, Sri Lanka, but let's hope they can be at their best. Let's have a look. He was safe anyway. Nah, that's not out. The stumps were already broken. So that's not out, run out. Even though Phillips, he went to, Jihan says that was clever. Run after the stumps were broken. Yeah, that's right. That's not out. The stumps were already broken. So Bumrah would have had to get the ball, run up to the stumps and take the stump out of the ground with the ball because the bails were already broken. So Jihan says, what are the Muppets reviewing for? You got to review, Jihan. You just got to be sure. That's all. But it was not out, clearly, because the stumps were already broken. Bumrah had to take the stumps out of the ground. This one short, pulled by Mitchell, just for a single to the deep. Moves on to 131. He's doing a Glenn Maxwell. He needs to score 200 if they are able to do it. 107 of 46. And every run, every over, critical in this match. It's a game of it's a game of fine margins, cricket. Bumrah in. This one, an outside edge for four, past the keeper, and Phillips works it down to the third man boundary. Gets it past KL Rahul, who couldn't do anything. He just saw it sail past him to the boundary for four. Excellent from Glenn Phillips. He's starting to get into his groove. Excellent shot. That's not a bad shot there from Glenn Phillips. Jihan says, what do you think of Adam Collins and Jeff Lemon? I find Jeff Lemon a bit annoying sometimes, a bit opinionated. Bumrah in, this one a full toss, swing and a miss by Phillips, no run for the keeper. I don't mind them, Jihan. I tend to listen to the final word all the time. I don't mind them. They're pretty good. Yeah, they're not bad. They know their stuff and they've been around for a long time. So, yeah, no, I always listen to them, get some knowledge, get some knowledge about the game and learn a bit more. So, yeah, no, they do a good podcast. Phillips in, this one high into the air and long. Is it going to be out? Caught, it is. Jadeja has taken the catch. And that is the end of Glenn Phillips. His cameo comes to an end. Another twist and a turn in this semi-final. New Zealand lose the fifth wicket. The partnership was 75. And Phillips has to go for 41. It's 5 for 295. He tried to go big, Phillips. Didn't quite have enough on it. Just inside the rope. And Jadeja, he's not going to drop those. If he dropped that, well, then something must have been wrong. But he didn't drop it. He didn't make any mistake on that one. And that's the end of Phillips. He's gone for 41. It's 5 for 295. Played a good knock. Jihan says, we're talking about when Mitchell Starc walked off against Afghanistan. It hit the stump Jeff Lemon was saying they should have used Snicko and called that bowled. Yeah. Well, I wasn't sure if that hit the stumps. Obviously, the game's a blur. I can't really remember because everything was happening. Yeah, I've heard some people say that if it's hit the stumps, then it's knocked the stumps, then it should be out bowled. But I know they've mentioned that obviously about bails. But I suppose if the bails don't dislodge, then it's not out. So Jihan says, I think that's a bit silly. Still think the bails have to come off for a bowled. Yeah. Well, I did hear Adam Collins, Jihan, talk about the bails and the history behind them. So they have mentioned it, that get rid of bails, it doesn't really matter. Bumrah in to Chapman. New batter, defends, there's no run, it's the end of the over. 5 for 295, Bumrah got his first wicket, got the big wicket of Glenn Phillips. That partnership threatening to just create some problems for India. Jihan says, yeah, it did hit the stumps. I went back and watched it. I think that's what confused Mitchell Starc. Did it? Well, I thought it missed the stumps. As I said, it was just a blur, obviously, because everything happened with Maxwell. Yeah, I have to look back at the highlights there to see that, Jihan. You have to say, Jihan, don't they play without bails if it's too windy? Yeah, that's right. You can take the bails off if it's too windy, and you're allowed to do that. But we don't see that very often, obviously. Depends if it's windy or not. Single taken by Mitchell off Kuldeep to the offside. Jihan says, I think this Chapman guy can hit big. Was it him that won the impossible game against Ireland? I don't think it was Jihan. I think it was someone else, I'm not sure. But he's capable, Chapman. He's originally from Hong Kong, He played for Hong Kong and now he plays for New Zealand. I haven't seen much of Chapman over the years, and I've seen little bits of him in terms of his cricket. Kuldeep is in. This one spins away from the left-hander, and Chapman can only defend it out to cover for no run. 102 or 40. So New Zealand just need some big overs here. Jihan says it was someone from New Zealand cricket families. Was it? Just trying to remember. There's so much cricket on, you can't really remember everything. Chapman in. This one played over to the offside. And the sweeper will come around, cut it off for 2. 5 for 298. 100 off 39 required. Obviously, New Zealand not ideal losing the wicket of Phillips in the last over. That partnership he had with Mitchell was a pretty handy one. Chapman in. This one, an attempted slog sweep. Doesn't time it, hits him on the pads, and there's no run. Well, the Indian supporters, everyone cheerful at the ground here at the Wankhede. They're not far away, India. 100 off 38 required. Game is not over till it's over. So they'll have to be still wary. Kuldeep is in. And this one swept by Chapman, and he's out. He's hit it straight to the fielder at backward point. At deep backward point, he is gone. And another wicket falls. Kuldeep gets his first, and India can taste a spot in the final on Sunday. Not far away from him now, but it's not over yet. There's still 37 deliveries to go. Chapman, well, he had to go. He had to go big. Run rate's getting out of hand. So he had to go and play the big shot in the end. But Jadeja takes back-to-back catches in back-to-back overs, and Rohit Sharma jumps for joy. India haven't won the World Cup yet. It's only the semi-final. That's the end of Mark Chapman. He's got to go for 2 at 6 for 298. Gihan says, sorry, that was Michael Bracewell I was thinking of. Yes, I think it was Michael Bracewell. Yes, it was Michael Bracewell, yes. Yes, obviously the Bracewells have a long association with New Zealand cricket. Obviously, Doug Bracewell. I remember him. He bowled New Zealand to victory in that match in 2011 in Australia, in Hobart, where David Warner scored his first Test 100. And Nelly won the game for Australia. Unfortunately, couldn't in the end because Nathan Lyon got out. He was the last wicket. New batter Mitchell Santner arrives at the crease. 100 off 37 required for New Zealand. Kuldeep is in to Santner. This one beats Santner past his outside edge. They'll come through for the single. And he will retain the strike. It's the end of the over. It's 6 for 299. New Zealand need 99 off 36 overs. Sorry, 36 balls remaining. 6 overs remaining, so 36 balls from the 6 overs. Jihan says it looks all over now. Maybe should have gone harder earlier. Well, that was the thing for New Zealand. They didn't really maximize the power play in the first 10 overs. It set them back a little bit. So 99 off 36. Look, Daryl Mitchell, what can he do? 132. So he's done pretty well with the bat. Obviously, they just lost wickets at the wrong time, New Zealand. The partnership with Williamson, the partnership with, obviously, Phillips. If they extended on a bit, who knows? Giants says pretty much need 2 6s and a 4 every over now. They do, or they need some wides and no balls. That will help as Bumrah's in. This one's short, and Santner plays it down to behind square on the offside. Rahul does the fielding. They come through for a single. 300 is up for New Zealand. They need a further 98 runs. Well, at least New Zealand made it to 300. Giants has gone back to their label as perennial semi-finalists. Yeah, New Zealand. Well, they've done well. The last few World Cups, they've done well, New Zealand, to make it to the semi-finals. In 2011, they made it to the semi-final. I think it was against Sri Lanka and they lost. Yes, it was against Sri Lanka. They lost, yes. 2015, obviously, 2019, 2023. So they've done well to make it to the semi-finals, which is no mean feat. It's not easy to do. Bumrah in, this one full. Defended by Mitchell. There's no run. Well, can anyone beat India? That's the question. You would think the only team who could do it is probably India themselves. I think that's the only team that could beat India is themselves. Because I don't see anyone else beating them. They look pretty good. They look pretty strong. Bumrah in. This one full driven to long off by Mitchell. Pick up a single. 97 off 33. But India, they've done well. They were behind in this match at times. They've done well just to claw their way back on top in this game. And that's what they've done. They've been pretty good in this tournament. Bumrah in, this one short, an attempted uppercut from Santner, who doesn't connect, and it goes through to the keeper, no run. Well, New Zealand, what could have been if they extended those partnerships a bit longer? But India just find a way to go through as pretty much the favourites to to win this tournament. Satner in. This one's short pulled by Satner, who picks up a single. New Zealand looking to see what can they do in the last few overs here. Swing the bat. They've got nothing to lose. 95 for 32. So India not far away from another Cricket World Cup final. It will be their first one since 2011, which they won the tournament. They've just been too good, this Indian side. They've been very strong. Warmer in. This one down to long on by Mitchell for a single. And Jihan says India were under pressure briefly today, though. They were under pressure, but unfortunately for New Zealand, they couldn't keep the pressure on. That partnership between Mitchell and Williamson was looking threatening, but Shami took it away, got 2 wickets in the over, and that's where the game turned. This one pulled to the leg side. They'll come back for 2. Good running from Mitchell and Satner. That's all they can do, New Zealand. Just run hard and see what they can do. 92 of 30, and it's the end of the over. Well, not far away from the conclusion of this first semi-final. And India, well on track to book a place in the final on Sunday in Ahmedabad. But it's not over yet. They still have to bowl the 30 deliveries, and anything could happen. But if they bowl well, which they should, finish it off, 30 balls left is separating them with a spot in the final. New Zealand, tough day with the ball. They lost early wickets, but they did well to keep in the game. You expect that from New Zealand. They did well to fight. And Jihan says, I'm off to bed. Let's hope Australia win tomorrow. And let's hope, Jihan, or let's cross our fingers that the rain doesn't play spoil sport, which it probably might. But fingers crossed, let's hope Australia can get the job done in the semi-final. Thanks, Jihan, for joining us. Oh, Shami. 92 of 29 for New Zealand. So it looks like India are going to be marching on to the final on Sunday. Who will they play? South Africa or Australia? That will be yet to be determined. Shami in. This one taken. Mitchell is gone. He's held out. A brilliant knock of 134 comes to an end. And he will have to say goodbye, Mitchell. It was a courageous knock, but not enough in the end. And India have got New Zealand 7th, 306. And I think we should pretty much say it's a foregone conclusion now. And that is the end of this match, you would think now. India pretty much through to the final on Sunday. And I think that will do us for this live stream today. I think we pretty much know where this game is heading towards, which is sad in the end. I think we would have expected a closer contest. But India, credit to them, very strong team, batted well, bowled well, and Shami picks up 5 wickets. But for Mitchell, he batted well. Courageous knock of 134 comes to an end. 7 for 306. And there we go. So it looks like India will be progressing to the final on Sunday. And who will they play, Australia or South Africa? We shall wait and see. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Before we go, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. And the podcast is available on Anchor and Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. We will see you later on today for the second semi-final between South Africa and Australia. Please join us then. Until next time, keep safe and bye for now.